Welcome, guys. It is the Season 16 Challenger Final, and we are getting started straight away with the map ban. I am Laws. I'm here with Rich Money and Bible Clinger, and we're looking forward to a crazy final between SAV Leopards and ACA, the Masters. We'll see what's going to go down tonight. Obviously, we know that both teams have worked very hard to get to this point. So far this season, Leopards have been 3-0 on Mirage, and we've had the Masters, who are 3-1 on Anubis. We'll see if either of those maps are going to come out. We see right there, the Masters have picked Anubis. What do we think, Rich? How does this ban look like it's going to go for the third and final map after Leopards pick up Mirage?
So the rationale here, guys, is ACA bans SAV's best map, SAV bans ACA's best map. Expected for an Anubis and a Mirage pickup from both these teams, picking their second best maps off the board. I would expect probably to see an ending on either Dust 2 or Ancient, potentially a match day 1 rematch between these two teams.
Yeah, match day 1, they started out on Dust 2, I believe. ACA took that down in overtime. But those teams have changed drastically since the first match day, obviously. Bible, how do we feel going into this game? Are you excited to watch these two teams go at it?
Oh, absolutely. I was here for the semifinals that the Masters pulled their victory, and I was here last night watching the Leopards get their victory over the Drakes. I'm actually really hyped about this. These two teams play, in my opinion, a very different style, and we're going to see something very exciting, hopefully, when these two clash in the server tonight.
Yeah, we know that both of these teams have obviously worked very hard to get to this point, but as you said, they do have quite different styles. As we see Dust 2 come in as the decider. Wow, what a map pull. We've
Yeah.
got Anubis, Mirage, and if we need it, we will be heading to Dust 2. To talk about some players to highlight real quick, obviously Rich and Bible hop in whenever you feel like it, but I'm just going to start out with some of the key players. On Sav Leopards, we have Dirt Slurpee, who is opping and IGLing, who's had a 1.15 so far throughout this season, and I'm feeling like that is a player that they're going to need to get activated. What are your thoughts on that, Rich?
Yeah, I mean, throughout the season, Dirt's been easily their most explosive player. Even pre-roster change, Sav, he's been their guy. Him and Binu. Dirt's calling for them now with the roster change for Booligan, for Cutthroat. I'm excited to see what he calls for his team and to put his op in position to win.
And obviously on the Masters side of things, we have Nightbear, who's been having a very, very good season so far at a 1.15 after joining the ACA roster later in the season. Bible, what are your thoughts after seeing Nightbear perform in the playoffs?
Oh, he had some fantastic plays. He had a really good map, and after his team won in the semifinals, we actually had an interview with him, and it was announced that this is his last season. I don't know if permanently or for a while. So he's really motivated. This is his time to get that win, to win the finals. He's been here for I think he said since season 5 or something very long. And this is his chance. His team's motivated. He's motivated. We're going to see him really perform tonight, in my opinion.
Nice. And when we know that Rich, obviously the ACA Masters, they've been kind of playing more consistent as a team throughout the playoffs, I would say, compared to Leopards, who have had some individual performances that have, been very strong for them. Obviously, both teams playing well individually and as a team, but it seems like those styles might be important tonight. What are your thoughts on the matchup when it comes to the stylistic choices of the IGLs? Rich, you there?
Double muted, sorry. Yeah,
You're
we're,
good.
we're looking at a really structured game under Verks and Nightmare as a secondary caller on ACA. The team has basically been the same. Well, I shouldn't say that. They've had 2 roster changes for over the course of the season, but this team's really structured and well drilled. And as we've seen, they've got a lot of different options for firepower. Sav, on the other hand, Booligan, relatively new to this team for the IGL role last couple weeks or so, but he's been proficient. We're going to see probably some really fast plays that he's setting up. Like some quick entries from himself and Rowdy on the op and Rowdy on the rifle, but I'd imagine a little bit more loose style from Sav versus a much more structured style from ACA here. So it's really like you said, a clash of styles.
Very much so. And what do you think, Bible, in terms of underdogs? Who should we be looking at in terms of who could also have an impact that may not be on the first line of thought, but who do you think could have some impact if they show up tonight?
Actually, that's an interesting question. One thing I noticed is that these teams, even though you have players, for example, like on the Masters, like Nightbear, who can absolutely perform and make their presence known, really you have players on both teams here who are absolutely phenomenal. They can all show up when they need to. If you have to pick players that aren't readily, recognized right away, I mean, the Masters has a couple players that aren't above the 1.0 rating after the regular season, like Calf and Verks. But I mean, when you see them play, you can see they can definitely make plays. This is not a team that's just being carried by one or two people. Yes, they have their star players, but the whole team, every single person here is lethal coming into the finals.
I think so. Rich, and we've talked about this a little bit. Obviously, you've talked about this on your podcast that a lot of these players have been talking back and forth, a lot of trash. Who do you think wants this more? What do you think is you've got your ear to the scene. What is going on between these teams? Is there any beef we should be knowing about?
Dude, there's a lot. I mean, LW's a big talker, as we know, but he's an awesome guy. I know ACA really, really wants this one for Nightbear, as we heard on their last match, that this is gonna be his last season. What we do know is there's some personal ground to gain here for players like Deckel. Verks has owned him in his last couple playoff series. I don't think Deckel's ever beat Verks, and so this would be an insane statement win for SAV, at least for Deckel here, to take this one over Verks. Verks, on the other hand, and Verks and Co, I'll say, Eclipse, LW, and him have played together for a long time. This is the championship they're looking for, and this is the best opportunity they've had for it. So there's kind of a lot on the line for everybody here. This is really going to help Dirt's MVP case. This is big, you guys.
It's a big matchup. I know a lot of players, when they get into CSC, right, we think it's a casually competitive league that starts out pretty fun. But as you get through the playoffs, you start to get that feeling of like, all right, I can actually, win something here. If it's CSC finals, let's go out and do this. And despite seeming like there wouldn't be, I can say from personal experience, when you get in that final mode, there are a little bit of nerves. It seems like it would be weird, but you've put a lot of effort so far, and you don't want to lose right before the finish line. Bible, do you think any of these teams are going to be feeling that way, or do you think they're coming in confident after their wins? What does the previous matches lead you to believe?
I think they're going to be coming in wanting it. I think they're going to want to win. I think they're going to be motivated. We're not going to see, let's say, for example, lackluster performances, players not mentally here. I don't think we're going to see that. We're going to see both teams trying very, very hard. Now, with that said, we were spotting mistakes in the previous match last night between the Leopards and their opponents, the Drakes. And it's not mistakes as in like, just brain dead stupid plays, but mistakes as in you're very, very intent on getting the mission done, but you have to go fast. You're going fast, and you can't get everything done that you want to in the amount of time you have. Your aim isn't as good as you want. You're not lining up your utility maybe the way you want. You have to make sacrifices as you're trying to move. And those types of mistakes are capitalized on very, very quickly. I think the big thing we're going to see here is the difference in styles. I think the Masters are going to be more of, as you were saying, Rich, the structured team. And I think you're going to see some very scrappy play from the Leopards, who are going to try to really knock the Masters off their perch.
I think so too. So if you're in chat right now, feel free to send a message and let us know who you think has got it, because we're just about to do the same. Let's go with some predictions here. Obviously, this could put us in a bad spot if we make some predictions that don't turn out, but I'm willing to take that risk. So we got a map pool, obviously, of Anubis, Mirage, and Dust 2, if we have to go to the decider. Best of 3 grand finals for Challenger Season 16. Who do you have? Let's start with Bible. Who do we have? Do you have the Masters or the Leopards taking this down?
Well, right now, without seeing anything from today, how the players are going, I'm going to go with the Masters with a victory of 2-1 over the series.
So you think it'll get to the decider? I like that. And what about you, Rich Money? Mr. Money, tell us, what's your pick?
See, this one's tough, Laws, because I think that, frankly, it's a really even matchup on firepower, but there's, like Bible said, there's a lot of nerves riding on this one. A lot of players that Want this bad. I think it's going to be scrappy. I think we're going to get a 3-map affair. If I'm going to edge it out, I think I'm going to be different than Bible here, and I'm going to take SAV 2-1.
Oh no, I mean you put me in the worst spot right there, Rich. I have to decide, I guess. So I think you guys are right. I think map 3. I think we'll get to it. I will say I think that Verks has been calling extremely well throughout the playoffs. So I am going to give it to the Masters. I think they're going to take it down 2-1. And I guess as a panel, we've decided there that the Masters are going to take down. So
Yep.
maybe the Leopards can prove us wrong. We'll see how that goes. As the players getting into the server now, hopefully we'll be getting started soon. So bear in there or stick in there with us. Obviously, we've talked about this already. I'm Laws. I'm here with Rich Money, Bible Clinger, and we have Nexus on the observing and production. So big thank you to Nexus. As we're about to dive in, anything else you guys think would be important for us to cover? What do you think?
If it's me and I'm making a prediction on what the difference here is, it's going to be the opening kill differential. And I know a lot of people might look at that and say, Rich, obviously, if you get an opening pick, you're really likely to win the round. But on teams like these where you have a couple players taking a really high percentage of openers, Eclipse and LW for ACA, and Dirt and Rowdy for SAV, it's really the matchup. Those fights initially are the ones that I want to look at here, and as well as our, the supporting players, the calf versus Bean, who's got the better util, and then can Deckel hold his team's mental together as well as Verks can, and so I'm really excited to see it, you guys.
It'll be good. A little bit of kind of touching on the win conditions so far from that, which I'm liking. Rich, what do you think, Bible? What's going to be a win condition, right? We hear from Rich that the opening picks are going to be important and just kind of keeping composed together as a team. What do you think could be a win condition for the Masters? Let's start with them.
Well, the Masters, I think they have to not get dragged down into playing scrappy Counter-Strike. I think they have to be able to, like, for example, if they decide they're going to hold something in a certain position, they can't over-rotate. They can't get pulled off by, any shenanigans of puggy CS, which, on the other hand, is what I think the Leopards have to do. I think they have to knock them off their game, and they have to play maybe a little bit more fast, hit different bomb sites, do different things a little bit more weirdly, let's say. The Leopards also have to be very careful. In the last matches we saw, they were very unfortunately unprepared against the eco rushes. Both teams in the last semifinals were very unprepared for eco plays. And that would be something that would be very unfortunate if the anti-ecos do not stack up to what you'd expect in the finals, because the other team can really make you pay for it.
Yeah, I think we saw that, right? It was back to back eco wins throughout. We got all players in the server here actually just now, so hopefully we'll be getting into it soon. Obviously we've talked about the eco rounds being important, as well as some of the opening picks, but I also think pistol rounds can be important, guys, right? With CS2 and the economy currently, if these teams can get the opening round, convert the second round, and even get the bonus, it could be off to a quick start. We're going to have the Leopards starting on T side, so we'll see if they can start out T side Anubis strong, obviously with ACA in the second half getting the T side. How do you feel about the side so far? How do you feel about Leopards starting on the T side, Rich?
I mean, it's what you want, right? Verks is always grabbing the harder side first. That's his rationale as an IGL there. They're going to try to get as many rounds as they can on CT. Leopards has to put the pressure on early and make them regret taking the harder side.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the thought process, Bible? Do you like the idea of taking the harder side first and then being able to kind of pull your way back into the game if you have to, or what are your thoughts on that?
I think it always depends on how warmed up I really actually feel in the moment, and how well-oiled the team feels in the moment. If we're really not feeling it, then maybe take the hard side, just get it out of the way.
Very, very true. Alrighty, we got 10 seconds left on the countdown here. This match is about to get started. We are heading into Map 1, Anubis, of the Season 16 Challenger Finals. We got Anubis, Mirage, and maybe Dust 2 as we're starting out here on Pistol. And we'll see what the T side is going to bring us. Looks like a quick B exec here as Beaner's lining up a molly. And LW is going to be tested early. Eclipse goes straight off the rip, but gets one on Deckle. Pushing in, Bino gets the trade as they're pushing in now. Rowdy chasing down LW towards Cave, but plays their life well. 2 coming in from CT, 1 Temple and 1 on the flank. Nice shot from LW, but Calf goes down, and LW is kind of holding the flood here as Rowdy gets a kill, and it's all on Nightbear and Verx in a 2v3. Nightbear is smoked off, but Verx is on the flank. We'll see what they can do here. Verx pushing in. The T's are going to hear that. Are they going to be aware of the double up on street? And it's all on Verx. Gets the 1 tap. Probably knows the player's there, but there is a molly on dirt. Does have a kit, but it looks like he's going to push him, and he's going to have to get this kill and get on bomb, and he gets it. I don't think he has the time. Great effort from Verx, but it might not be enough. Not quite enough from Verx. I mean, what a start there, guys. Holy.
Bible, I don't know if you saw this stat, man, but that was the pistol round statistics right there in action. ACA over the course of the season is a 45.5% win rate versus SAV's nearly 60%, and it shows.
Yeah, it does. But the thing that I noticed is that it was very, very, very close. Obviously, right down to the wire. The Leopards had that problem against the Drakes. Almost all of their rounds were close until they got to the 3rd map. So we really want to see them make a bigger impact in these rounds. When they win, they should win with at least 3 players left alive.
Got a full A stack here from the CT side as it looks like they're pushing out with the rugs and T-stairs smoke. As the T's are taking their space mid. Bino sees a couple, gets a nice shot on Calf, looks to get a second, taking out Eclipse. Deckle cleans up Nightmare towards rugs, and it's not looking very likely that anything will get going as Deckle finds the kill on LW. And Verx is left in the 1v5 just like that.
That's big, Laws. That's big. Getting Binu going early is so important. He's their 2nd best rated player. Deckle getting going early too. These are all the guys you want to see. Dirt's going to get going no matter what, so.
Oof, nice effort there from Verx, but Binu is going to get the 3rd. And now it's a very important round. Can you guys talk about, so far what we've seen throughout playoffs, Bible? You've been watching a lot of these games. How have these bonuses been going for the Challenger tier in general?
Well, at least with the 4 final teams here, it didn't seem to be going so well. The anti-ecos is where they struggled. I noticed in one particular round, the issue was that after they won a brilliant rifle round, the T side would sometimes just separate, and they would sort of poke and prod and get caught off by rat angles from the CT side. So hopefully that doesn't happen. It didn't happen last round, and hopefully it doesn't happen any further.
Well, SAV are now grouping up towards rugs. We've talked about their more puggy style, and they're going quick here again as Nightmare gets one. It's a little sloppy, but does well to get the one there as the T's are scaling up, but Verx is already over, and so is Calf as the CTs are ready for this push.
Here comes
T's
Rowdy.
are a little delayed. Great flash, though, and delay flash takes out Rowdy, or takes out Calf with the flash. I can't talk. Verx does a nice job there of getting one from half wall, and we're just getting started, folks, and we got to get the lips warmed up.
Yeah, man, I said it there. That was a great opener from Rowdy. Oh my gosh, here comes LW. ACA in.
2 from LW. This is big. All on Cutthroat now. We've talked about getting this 3rd round conversion, and it's not going to happen. Nice win from the Masters as they managed to shut that down. We've talked about the impact that LW can have on this game, and right there we see it. Nice retake from the CT side to prevent any runaway from the get-go.
In my opinion, the Leopards post plan is a little bit weak. We had that again, that other problem in the semis, something that they could really keep an eye on. If you do a lot of effort to get into the bomb site and plant the bomb and get the money and get all the kills on there, that's great. But if you don't win the round, it really hurts you. It hurts the economy. It hurts your motivation. It's just really not. There's nothing good about that. You've got to secure these rounds. They should have had the 3rd round, in my opinion.
I think so too, after it looked like a very strong start. But there we go. The pick we've talked about, Dirt getting the pick on LW, and a 4v5 straight away for the CT side as Nightmare's going to push up. Will he clear Deckle here? It looks like he will, but Deckle finds the kill. 3v5. Already 3v5 here. Calf is going to be tested next, and it looks like they're going to get picked off individually, unless Calf can go huge. Molly comes in, doesn't find even one shot there, I don't think, on Rowdy. Maybe gets a bullet. But now a 2v5 as the T's are just slowly working their way, taking these one-on-ones that they're being given. And Verks get one, and he tries to get another. Playing at Nico in the open doesn't go down, and Eclipse actually gets a kill towards Storage. Gets another, and it's fallen apart for the T's here after they had a 2v5 advantage. Verks is saying, I'm not done. Pushes through and maybe gets a little overzealous. Eclipse now thinking to themselves that it is probably time to save. But it is only a 1v2. What are your thoughts on going for this one here?
Oh my gosh, that was chaotic, man. You saw the openers come through for SAV there, and you know ACA is fitting straight into them in a down man count. That got really, really scary there. I don't think there's any way Eclipse goes for this here. Maybe he's got comms at Buna's low.
Sees the one there towards Fishtail, sees the one Storage, and now this could get bad. The first kill is found, and the harder one is done for. It's all on Binu in a 1v1 against Eclipse, but Eclipse shuts it down, has the time. 2v5, Verks and Eclipse doing what they do best and holding it down for their team as the teams are now tied up 2-2.
The danger of the post plant again comes and bites the Leopards here with a player low on health. And Eclipse with the reposition, I mean, that was very smart. Reposition right away, get over to where you need to get, and just go for it. He went for it very smartly. The Leopards, I mean, I think they struggled to play together, and I think it was clear why, because of the low health player. But you got to peak together. A team like the Masters, every player can clutch against you.
Yeah, I am surprised that we don't get the swing there from the player towards Fishtail after the player's Storage goes down. But hindsight will come back to bite them, as you said. Here we have LW being tested against the MAC-10, and Dirt actually wins that gunfight. That is a crazy gunfight. And it goes in the favor of the T side, but we do have low HP already on some players. Eclipse has the op out. And what's the importance of the op here for Eclipse just throughout this game, do you think, Rich?
I mean, he's got to get online for ACA to really stay in front here, especially against these SMGs. You like to have him in position to hold a site solo potentially. I think where's he at? Posted tempo right now.
Yep.
Holding this B main walkout. So we'll see if Cutthroat tries him. I doubt it though.
Yeah, it looks like the T's are grouping up for an eventual A split here as they have a player already in main. One watching the Thals push in 2 towards mid door as we get the bomb picked up over towards the A side. It looks like that's what it's going to be. As the CTs seem kind of aware, though, they're already rotating over. And although down a man, hopefully they can get enough numbers over to deal with this split. As Calf commits to the site, great find by Eclipse. Nightbear gets 1, Nightbear gets 2, and it's all on Binu, low HP, and Cutthroat to see what they can do. Cutthroat gets 1, and Binu with 21 HP in a 1v3. Takes out 1, but great trade from Eclipse as the CTs now take their first lead of the game.
A little bit expensive for the Masters, but I really appreciate the 3 rounds in a row. They won a couple rounds, where they had to get the defuse. Round 4 should not have happened for them. I think they should be very, very happy. And now their goal should be getting the economy going. You know, they got a great buy here. Don't do anything to throw it away. Just keep chaining rounds together.
I think so, Rich. I've noticed that the CT side has been throwing this kind of T-stairs and Rogues combo with the smokes, almost like positioning as if they're taking a main control. We'll have to see if that comes back to be used later in the half, as we noticed that on the other semifinals.
It's all conditioning, I should say, Laws. You'll see we're probably getting a little bit of a French timeout here from SAV. They're going to group up and kind of talk over as they're going for this boost pick here. Rowdy really wants to go for it. That's the second time they boosted there. We'll see if ACA rotates over at this point, or they smell the mid hit, or B hit, I should say. Flash over, mid, Calf doesn't see anything. At this point, if I'm Verks, I'm calling, let's stack the B site because I got nothing over here.
Yeah, and it seems like that would be very well advised as LW is going to be tested early, and Rowdy gets a trade immediately, and it's very awkward with Eclipse on the up. Manages to find 1, but they're going to get pushed. And doesn't get the second. Calf rotating in, but that's also sloppy as Dekel takes down Eclipse with the Tech 9. He maintains the control. And Verks now coming in.
Ooh. Look at Dekel, man. So inspirational.
It's falling apart here for the CTs. Nightmare now in a 1v2 after they barely had anything. The T's have got this round going. And I like the way they're playing this stick, though. Ooh, Cutthroat using the CS2 aim mechanics of just sprinting still shooting. Manages to find that kill, but that got a little scary for the T's after the CTs were trying to hand them that round.
Yeah, that got a little too terrifying there. In all honesty, though, the Masters were the ones now here that struggled with the anti-eco. They had a great setup. They had the guns. They had the positioning. And it just seems like they didn't have the intel. They didn't know where to go. They didn't know where the stack was. And even when they did know, they just weren't able to hold it.
And they're going to hear this B-rush coming in. They got doubled up in E-Box as Rowdy's got Molly out and his teammate's Molly, and he's getting burned. It's kind of sloppy. Verk sitting in one as well. Why not? And Cutthroat gets the spam on Eclipse. Lots of Utah going to hit LOW. Well, they know that they're doubled up here, as Verk seems to go 100% down. 2 mollies so far in this round. Kev is pushed up next to Cutthroat.
Oh my
They
God.
know they're next to each other. Cutthroat is looking like they'll get 2 here, and that's what's going to happen. Unfortunate timing, and will Nightbear clear Dirt here?
Legged.
Not really, but Deckle gets taken out. Dirt gets taken out. Great trade from Bino. It's been a sloppy round so far, and one team is eventually going to have to pull this together.
Are these the nerves that we were talking about earlier, you guys? I
I
mean,
think so, man. I think so.
Bible, we talked a whole bunch the last series we casted about just the prevalence of the ecos, and even in the one that the SAV DRG match you did yesterday, there was another one right there, just we talked about.
Yeah, it's a struggle, though. I think sometimes people underestimate the power of the, for example, the Tech 9 or the 5.7 or
Yeah.
the Deagle. Especially if you can run and gun with the Tech 9, you can cover some ground very quickly.
And this boost again from Bino. Obviously, the CT is just on pistols. Looks like they've got a nice double setup towards main as Calf is getting pushed towards doors, and Rowdy's going to find that kill. Nice and easy there from Rowdy. The double up in main could catch these players that are going for an A split here. We'll see if Verks can get one. We do have, well, that was easy. Sponsored by Staples as he pushes through and gets one, and now they're going to kind of delay this A split, but the T's don't seem to care.
Oop, collided.
They lined up, and Dirk gets one on Eclipse and is going to get pushed. And now it's getting a little messy again as we get into a 3v3. We have an AWP and an AK now on the CT side. It might be advised for them to save these, but Rowdy's not liking that idea.
Ooh,
As
Rowdy.
now they go down, and this opens the door for the retake as Cutthroat has HP, but Bino's only on 65. 2 CTs low, and it seems like they're starting to hesitate as to whether or not they should commit to this, but LW does as they're running out. Gets taken down. It almost takes out Verks, and it looks like it should be time to save here as Verks is going to pick up the AWP off of Nightbear's body and save. Another sloppy round, I would say. What do you guys think? As we've talked about some nerves, do you think this is nerves, or do you think this is just the kind of nature of being in a a dynamic situation, whereas as a T, you're trying to adjust to the info that's happening against a team that you haven't played since the very beginning of the season? Do you think it might just be a matchup thing, or are these nerves?
I mean, for me, I think that you do have to remember that each team is pretty much the final boss of the other here going into the finals. So if you're going to make a mistake throughout the season, if you're making a mistake against, a team that's not really coordinated, maybe they just don't punish you. But in here, you're going to see the punishments come out. Like that flashbang into A main and the peak, the flash didn't quite land where it needed to, and the peak was punished.
Oh.
Burks is going to get chunked early as they try to go for some A main aggression that gets stifled by some good util. Another boost here. We'll see if Eclipse is ready for it. Sees the leg, shoots the lower player, and the upper falls off as Rowdy says, "Ow, that hurt me." And I'm going to back off. Dirt, deal with your own pick.
They really love that pick mid, don't they?
They really do, and it seems like obviously Eclipse is very aware of that now.
Calf struggling a little bit, 0-8 right now. I'd imagine if I'm Dirt here, right, and no disrespect to Calf, obviously, but you do want to target players that are having a little bit of a rough game. LW, Calf right now. Repeatedly pressuring these players is going to help SAV open up rounds. We'll see Rowdy, low HP here, likely swing in. Let's watch the trades here, Laws and Bible.
Yeah, we know that both of the players that are having a bit of a struggle so far are on the B site, and it seems like they're not even ready for the exec, as Calf doesn't even have his gun out. Verx comes in to help, but gets taken out, and it's all on LW to have some impact here. Gets one, and almost gets two, as it's now a 2v3 in favor of the T side as Bomb is going down. Eclipse looks like he's walling, but he does not have access to
Ooh,
the X-ray.
gone through the
Nightmare
wall
almost
there.
loses his life. Great shot from Dirt. And isn't ready for the double up. All on Eclipse here. Great shot. 1v3. This would be massive for the CT side, but gets the second. Will he be aware of the player plat? Beaner's done well to hide here, but it might not be for anything as... Nope. Nice. Good find. Got a little scary. Are you feeling confident with that round win as a T-side player there, Bible?
I mean, you got to feel confident at 6-3, right? I mean, that's good. That's something that you can be happy with, as long as you don't lose the next 3 rounds. But on to the point that Rich was making earlier about CAF struggling a little bit, there was a note given to us casters earlier in the day that allegedly came from Dirt Schlurpy, informing us that we might be interested in the fact that, and maybe Rich can fact check me on this, that CAF used to be on the Masters in the preseason.
Yeah, final cut for them.
So Cap was on the Leopards in preseason?
He was.
Wow.
Look at this eco round from ACA here. I mean, we keep talking with this, you guys. The I'm not going to say sloppy. We say the word sloppy a lot, but just a little bit unexpected that they're just going to rush up mid with pistols and get a ton of value out here. Expensive for SAV, but what I'll say is that they're coming down to 1, 2 alive at the end, but they're really hamstringing ACA in terms of money here. If I'm ACA, I realistically probably call a save here because I need these guns for next.
Yeah, and it looks like they're being a little hesitant. Maybe sloppy will change into scrappy moving forward,
Yeah.
right? It's been a scrappy game back and forth.
Yeah.
And by sloppy, we just mean that it's all over the shop. But the players themselves are playing well individually as they're going in for this, actually. Dirt in the 1v2. The smoke goes on the bomb. The player has to stick it. Dirt finds the kill, confirming the round for the T side. And what a shot from Dirt as he takes out Eclipse. That is the impact that this player can have on this match and the series. What an incredible 1v2 that kind of came out of nowhere, right? It looked like the CTs weren't interested, and then it looked like they almost had it.
Yeah, and if you look, though, they're able to buy. So maybe it was a little bit calculated to say, what's the point of saving guns when we have the money to go into the next round? Let's just take our chances. And it did look like a half-decent effort, right? You got a player on the bomb.
Yeah,
and so
totally.
you think, well, maybe if I smoke it off, there's a chance. And, but then it doesn't work out. And the thing about looking smart or looking stupid is sometimes a matter of success. If you do a risky play and it succeeds, you look brilliant. And if it doesn't succeed, well, then everyone says, boy, that was stupid. Why did you do it? And that's just bias in some ways sometimes.
I mean, that's very true and very well said. I mean, there's Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, and Bible Clinger. That was beautiful. Obviously, we know that so far in the season, ACA are actually 3-1 on Anubis. This was the map we expected them to perform on, and they're down 3-7. Obviously, we know they're starting on the harder side, but we'll see if they can maybe get 1 or 2 more to finish out the half.
Yeah, I mean, they need this one big, Laws and Bible. This is, again, what these openers, this is what I'm saying, you guys, this is going to change the map.
And Binu gets the kill on the player towards main. Eclipse gets taken down by Dekel, and now the 3-man setup towards the B site is shut down. Calf is all alone as it looks like the T's are crunching in. And Calf is going to have to do a lot here. No, Molly actually finds the back of sight. So Calf is going to play this nice and slow, but there's the Molly that's going to push him out. Great util from the T's, and Dirt takes down Calf with a combination of good aim and the util. 2v5 here. This is a situation where you might be wanting the guns for the next round. Nightbear's going to let cut through slide out. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm just... Yeah, crazy there. I think they might want to save. I don't even know if Nightbear even gets close. 2v5 feels impossible.
Yeah, it's not even, let's say you're feeling fine financially, which, that's questionable even, but it's more so the probability, right? Are we going to get in there, win the 2v5, get the defuse, and what's the benefit of that versus, maybe taking a couple guns away? We know that the T's have a good economy. So it seemed like a questionable decision, I think, there for them to stick around that long.
I think
Maybe.
that's the desperation, though, right? When you're getting to a 3-7 score line, knowing you're going to go into 3-8, the pressure to say, look, we can't really let him do this. We got to do something. That leads you to make decisions that you wouldn't normally make. If the score was, a little more closer, they might have been inclined to save right from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
No, definitely. Well, we're at 3-8. We got the last round of the half here. We'll see if the CTs can take it down 4-8, as we love to see more Counter-Strike being played. We got Dirt holding the push here from Eclipse. We'll see if Eclipse can keep their control, and Nightmare pushes out. Jekyll's going to hear that player, but just pushes out and gets the kill. Nice trade there from Verks. That could have been a crazy 2K from Dekel. So we have a push into Canals. Calf peeks mid, gets traded immediately, and again we're having a lot of these 1v1 gunfights that are getting traded well. LW spams, and Cutthroat uses that timing to push on through. Eclipse finds one, and now it's all on Cutthroat in the 1v2. Great damage there on Eclipse. And the bomb is down just outside of E-Box.
This is looking like ACA's fourth, guys. And this is big for them too. Looking at the next pistol, right? We always said this. We said this last time we were on, right? Sometimes 4-8 doesn't look so bad when you win a pistol and you get the anti-eco, and then hey, you get you get a bonus round, and suddenly you're 7-8 with the money. So
very much so. Now Cutthroat's going to work their way and sees the player. Deep Canals is going to be a tough one to figure out, as they probably understand that Verks is close but doesn't know how to find the angle. And Eclipse rips the head off of Cutthroat to get a 4-8 half in favor of the Leopards.
You got to admit, that was a good performance by the Leopards. You can't argue with the scoreline, 8-4. That's fantastic. The most dangerous part of the whole thing is where they lost 3 rounds in a row. I actually thought the Masters were going to start to run away with, a few more rounds, and at least we'd get a 6-6 scoreline. But the Leopards bounced back, and did everything they needed to do. Obviously, we know where this is going. It's a pistol round. If the Masters have a good pistol strategy to make it work, they're back in it. If not, we're already looking at map 2.
We'll see what they can do on this round here. Obviously, we've talked about ACA using the start harder side. Let's see what Brooks has come up with. A lot of them reviewers gone into call is about to come out. We have a 3 towards mid, 1 rogue, 1 B main. The CTs are in a 2-2-1 setup, which is pretty standard here. It's like playing double pass mid.
very, very quiet across the map. You gotta imagine there's some botted on both sides here. There must be, both teams are waiting for the aggression. They're expecting aggression. I would be surprised to see any more waiting here, but
we can only guess as to what is happening. Let's see if we can hear the audio. T's have grouped up towards mid. They're going to work their way 3 house. It's still a much slower approach to the round. Nice molly from Rugs there. It's going to draw attention to the A side. Allows the T's to find a better timing towards mid. And it's all on Rowdy to hold this down. Immediately goes sent back into Temple, running away from Glass. And the T's are going to pounce on the A site. Calf here, holding the A push. Dekel gets one, but Calf gets the second on Dekel. Nice frags there from Calf to pull the round in favor of the Masters. 4-12 Calf, doubling their kills so far in just 1 round. We'd love to see that out of Calf, as Cutthroat immediately takes him out. Great positioning here from LW, and that's going to take out Cutthroat, and it's all on Rowdy here in a 1v, or no, not Rowdy, and Beater, sorry. Rowdy now, 1v3, gets the trade on Nightbear, but goes down to Eclipse.
that's the pistol, guys.
My fault in the overlay. It's getting a little sloppy out here for us, but the players are being scrappy. What are your thoughts on that one, Rich?
That's the pistol, right? I mean, we got to see them convert here. I say them. We got to see ACA convert strongly even. And it looks like we're going to see a force buy out from SAV here. And I think that's a smart play. They got a couple kills. Let's stick it to ACA, I think Dirt is calling.
Yeah, I like it, right? You're up and you want to take the game into your own hands. So why not go for it? Looks like we got some A pressure quick, though, from the CT side. Burke's doing what he can to find some room and is immediately going to find out that they're on a buy and gets taken out a little bit eager there. Rowdy is doubled up here with Dekel as Dekel gets one. Rowdy goes down. Eclipse find the kill. Very desynced as we have a now 3v2 in favor of the CTs. Bomb goes down for A main, and there will not be a player coming from that direction for the CT side as we have 2 towards cams and 1 storage. The tap comes in, the kills come in for Cav, but Binu gets both and shuts it down. We talked about that second round conversion, and the buy pays off.
This is a huge disaster when you think about it. You win the pistol and you can't hold on to the advantage there. You lose to a force buy, and now the score is 9-5. We're in a really bad shape right here, to be honest, when you think about it. If you're a Masters fan, I mean, this is bad. This is incredibly bad.
Yeah, 9-5 is a little rough right now as the T's are going to buy into this round. Early util there from Dirt, trying to deal some damage to the T's and finds just the toes of Nightbear and Verks.
Yeah, you do the math out here. That so the second buy technically is more important than the winning the pistol round. It could potentially, you know, denote a pretty good end here for SAV. Good push from ACA.
Yeah, great kill there. Dirt gets one. Gonna be tested again. Manages to live, and LW takes out Dekel towards heaven. Dirt tested again, and Kef finds that kill. Nice round from ACA.
Ends up not mattering.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? We talk about, you know, everything. We talk about, you know, the importance of pistol. We talk about the importance of the conversion and buying here and there, and they just say, shut up, let's win this round. And they've done it with 4 alive so far. Looks like they're going to be saving towards A main, and that's a nice round from the Masters to hopefully claw themselves back into this game.
It's the recurring theme of playing a brilliant round and then losing with an anti-eco. And it, you know, now it's the Leopards' turn to throw away a round and say, well, you know, we are up 9-5, going 9-6. It's not the end of the world. And that's true. It's not the end of the world. They can be just fine here, especially with the guns that they have. But I mean, whichever team stops the bleeding first on these anti-eco rounds is going to be the ones that win.
Yeah, it seems like once you know, kind of cools off and settles into the way that we think it should be going, right? That team will succeed, and that's for now. Both sides have been struggling on those rounds. 6-9. If the Masters are looking to bring themselves back into this, they're going to have to do a little bit more than they've already done. But that was a good first step.
Yeah, we'll see a force buy-in here from SAV. They're on a double. They were on a double there, so they had to buy in. And luckily with those two saved rifles, they could pull out some MP9s. So let's see if they can make this one close.
Very much so. We've got house control again from the T's. Nightbear's got to be careful here with the boost, but it falls down. And now the 3 players towards B rotate one on over to help mid. A nice approach, I think, from the T side here. We've talked about the way that Verks likes to call. I like the map control that they've gained here with 2 towards house, canals, T stairs, and B main control. They're showing presence across the board.
Be careful this Nightbear lurk out B main. He was like instrumental in ACA's win over UPS over there. They just ripping their heads off. We'll see if he can get that same level of value, but it looks like most of the pressure is still, you know, they're going up the gut here in mid.
Yeah, and I think the CTs are really concerned about this mid presence, right? You know, we've got a double up A main. They don't have much support, but great find by Dirt on the 5-7. Back and forth, we seem to see these players fall to 5-7s more than we do AKs and ups. Cutthroat from Cave trying to get the kill here, a little labored. Gonna fall back as the T's take the site, and it falls like that. LW
it's a rifle drop.
Yeah, rifle drop towards street by the looks of it. Cap gonna be tested here against 2 guns. Gets taken out by Rowdy as Eclipse cleans it up. Turns around, nice shot from Eclipse on Binu, and wants to take the fight again here on Rowdy towards E-Box. Eclipse is saying, I'm having an impact in this final, but gets taken down by Dirt, and again we find it getting a little scrappy. 2v2. Nightbear and LW towards main. Flash comes in. Dirt on the bomb.
Ooh.
Nightbear gets 2. Eventually has their impact from B main, as you talked about there, Rich, but much later than I think we originally thought it would come in.
I think this is what we're set to see all night. I think we're set to see incredibly close rounds almost every single time. It's surprising how it works out because it's different locations, different bomb sites, different aspects, and yet for whatever reason, neither team can really make a break of it. They are just struggling to chain these rounds together to get consecutive round wins.
We have a CT buy here, or no, not a buy, sorry. Full save is what I meant, a lack there of a buy. I'd like to point out Eclipse 20 and 10 right now in this match, doing everything they can as a mid-rush comes in. We're going to have a test on Calf, and that's super sloppy. Sorry to say, Calf, but that could have been better. And Eclipse here gets 1, but bomb is down. Eclipse actually giving up the bomb, and the CTs now take that space. This is getting awkward as they don't have control of any map, but they have control of the most important piece of the T-side's kit.
They know where that op is too.
They know the op is towards the canals area. No one is rugged, so Eclipse will allow themselves to look towards mid from that area. Nightbear, nice kill there on Rowdy. Verks pushing in. Eclipse finds one. LW finds another, and Verks gets the last. Great job there, I think, from the T side to convert that after it got a little bit crazy with the mid push.
Yeah, got a little dicey. I'll let you jump in there, Bible. Sorry about that. But got a little dicey there. They got the bomb. Good on ACA for kind of rallying the troops, recognizing that, hey, we got the better rifles. Let's let them peek us and kill them. So.
I just wanted to say, finally, we got what we needed out of the Masters. That was a very nice anti-eco. They lost a player, they realized what was going on, and they adjusted, adapted, and cleaned them out methodically.
Mm-hmm.
Eclipse is going to be very happy to get away with just a little bit of damage there from the shot of Dirt. But Dirt's going to go down to the rifle of LW on B main. Bino's going to pick it up, saying, let me have a try, but LW is already out. Will the player towards E-Box be aware? No, LW takes out Cutthroat. Great entries here from LW, who's also having some very important impact in these rounds. Calf is keeping control towards mid and Nightbear on the lurk out A. The T's have some great control as the bomb is going to go towards the A site. The CTs think it's fully B, and LW is doing a nice job of holding them here. As you can see, the other T's are running away to get control of mid and canals, and LW maintaining control of the B site. Finally, he goes down, and the CTs are going to realize the bomb isn't even here, and that might be a call for a save that quick.
Yep, it's an easy call. Really good calling there from Verks and co. I think Nightbear's lurk, absolutely instrumental. It got a ton of space, and they left SAV scratching their heads here.
Yeah, the entries by LW as well, right? To get the first 2 and also maintain almost, kept 3 players towards that site. Some really nice individual play there from Nightbear and LW. Oof, almost goes down at the end, but manages to stay alive. 9-9. We talked about how that half got away from the ACA Masters, but it looks like the Masters have done some good studying on the CT side of the Leopards as they are approaching these rounds in a very nice, methodical, and well thought out way by the looks of it.
I think this might be where we see the Masters come alive with the more methodical gameplay right here.
And Calf takes out Rowdy. Nightbear gets a kill on Dirt, and that's 2 in the favor of the T side. Let's see if Nightbear tries to overcook a little bit here. Yes, unfortunately does, and Bino gets the trade back. But LW gets the trade on them, and Bino again gets the trade back. We're in a 2v3 here, where the CTs are managing to find the trades, but Verks is going to catch out Bino, and it's that quickly all on Dekel.
Yeah, you can't go searching for more intel B man. I mean, I don't want to dogpile on Bino there because he did great in that round, but that's a tough one to go looking for, and kind of getting caught with your pants around your ankles there.
Yeah, it seems like once you deal with that B main aggression, that there has to be either the comms or the awareness of them being towards E-box, right?
Mhm.
Bible, what do you think you'd like to see out of the Leopards as an adjustment here?
It's hard to say if they're. I mean, they had to have studied the Masters demos, right? They had to have at least looked at it, had some prep. And if they can recognize some of the patterns, I'd like to see some aggression pushed out of some of the bomb sites, either like an A main push or some sort of trick B main play. But what would be interesting is if they do those kind of things, typically done on eco rounds, if they do something like that on a rifle round, something to throw them off their game.
And it might be what they're cooking up right now, right? As they've taken that TAC timeout.
I hope so.
First one for SAV, I would have imagined that they would have called one earlier, right? Typically, you want to do it to kind of stifle a little bit of momentum from the other team and kind of get your guys all on the same page. It's good that Dirt's calling it now. It's kind of do or die for them. I'm expecting to see probably some measured aggression from SAV, likely over there on the A side, to kind of counter the, all this B space that ACA is taking. So we'll see how that goes here. I don't know, Laws, what do you think?
I'm just impressed by the ACA Masters in the way that they've come back into this game. Obviously, we know that they were down, 4-8 as it was on the half, and to hold the Leopards to only one round so far, it looks like they're feeling very confident in their T side, and the decisions that their IGL is making is exactly that. They try to push through B main fast. Nightmare goes down, but LW, who's had a lot of impact so far, pushes in second, gets the kill on Cutthroat, opening up the site. Binu again is going to have to do more if the CTs want to hold on to the site. Great spam from Dirt, but Verx is going to find the kill, and Calf takes the kill out on Rowdy, which was that looked like that was mid. And Binu goes down to Eclipse. 1v4 now for Deckel. And just like that, it's a save. We talked about the trust that it seems like ACA has in their team play and their calling. And what do you think that round says right there, Bible? Do you think that shouts confidence towards the Leopards?
Well, I mean, yeah, the Masters are definitely feeling it here. They've got the right idea. They're set now to run away with the half. The Leopards, though, I think they had a good T side, but I don't think they really know what to do now when they're not in the driver's seat. They don't know what the... Oh, here we go.
Wow, Deco gets 3 of them. Almost takes out Kef. Does a nice job of staying alive there. Great spray control.
Yeah, he's way to save that rifle. I don't know if it helps them with the buy in next, but definitely sets them up pretty well here for this round. I'm gonna say it, guys. This is a must-win. Looks like we got a buy coming in for SAV here. If they lose this round, I think economically they're gonna really struggle, and I think ACA is gonna walk out with their map pick.
3 set up towards the B site here for the Leopards. As they know they've been getting tested, they try to flash out, but Bino's actually going to get caught out by their own flash. Actually, I think Cash also threw a flash at the same time. My apologies. Cutthroat gets a kill back, but the T's are persistent as they're going to molly out the back site. But it looks like Dirt is actually going to live, and if Dirt can stay here, I think they're aware that Dirt is there. Yeah, and Dirt's going to get out. 4v4 now as it slows down after that initial aggression. But not map control taken elsewhere. Great pick from Eclipse in mid. And I think that really shows, guys, that the Leopards are on their heels here a little bit. We have no movement from the A site. We have no movement from mid. Not even a look towards T-stairs or anything like that. And finally, we see some kind of movement out of the CTs. But it looks like it's going to get caught out, which is just unfortunate as LW finds the kill on Dirt. Nice go from Cutthroat. Turns around, immediately gets traded by LW, and Deckel alone again in the 1v3. Could catch out this player, though, towards Rugs. Verx is going to give that information over. And you can see that the T's are heading towards B. I mean, again, it seems like despite having the numbers towards the B site, the CTs cannot hang on.
Poor Deckel, man. He's been alive, like last alive in all these scenarios. His team keeps dying around him. Opening picks, I think, all going to ACA at this point.
Yeah, I mean, life of a B Mirage player and the life of an Anubis player, right? You're either getting rushed down and it's all on you to hold it, or you're getting put in these tough situations. 1v2 against 2 players towards CT Street. Deckel's gonna have to figure this out pretty quickly. Realizes it's not B main and it's not looking good as yet. Deckel's gonna peace out, and that's a tough one to swallow as well, right? You want to have an impact in the game. It feels like you're not even seeing anybody, and when you do, it's too late.
What a bunch of round calling here from Verks and Nightbear, and great opening picks from the ACA side to get him in the match, or keep him in the match, I should say, right in the driver's seat.
This is smart here by the Masters to call a timeout. They're winning. You don't need it. You've got the guns. You've got everything you need. Why call a timeout? I think they want to slow it down here. They know that this is the type of position that you can throw so easily. So they're trying to calculate exactly what should they do to not lose this round. And sometimes it's a little, it's a little amusing, right? Like, what do you mean? Just don't screw up. But obviously, it's a lot easier said than done. And of course, the Leopards realize that this is really important too. So they're looking at it the same way. Like, everyone's really worried about this round.
Yeah, the Leopards calling the back-to-back timeout, I think, is very telling, right? They really want to make sure that they are all on the same page going into this round that could be the last of Anubis.
I'm going to take it back to what I said before the match started, you guys. The big thing here is going to be the opening pick here with SAV. No op on the board for Dirt. They're going to have to rely on their riflers to make it happen. And I'm going to be honest, I think that's their only hope. The B players have got to stay alive long enough for the rotates to come in, and hopefully they get a rifle pick somewhere.
Have you noticed, though, there's no real pressure against the Masters when they're setting up? They have all the time in the world to throw their set pieces and everything, and there's no flank. There's no real serious rotation that's really hurting them.
And a bit of aggression from Dirt. Manages to actually get the kill with the support from Deckel on bridge, and that's a change of pace we like to see. Eclipse, though, shuts it down. Great game so far from them at 25-12. And now, obviously, you can see there, Deckel is kind of questioning whether or not they should even be in canals and going to have to give up the space that they fought so hard for early on.
It's funny, all of that effort for an opening pick there, and it picks up Calf playing support for ACA, 8 and 17. So it's like, is that really what they wanted with that Dirt push?
I mean, it's one of those where you feel great once you got that first pick, but
Yeah.
when it falls apart, you feel a little bit exposed. Nightmare getting taken down by quite a lot of Utsil, but what a shot from LW! Literally just decides it's my time to find this one as they swing and take down Cutthroat before Cutthroat can even really do much about it.
They're on all cylinders right now, you guys. I say that Deckel destroys Nightbear.
I like Deckel being over towards this B site as well, right? It shows Deckel wants to get into the action, but unfortunately it seems to be avoiding him like the plague as the T's going to push up mid. Bino's got great timing though, takes down LW, and now we're in a 2v3 in favor of the CTs. It's been a while since we've said that, as the T's are grouping mid together. A lot of passiveness though from the other CT players, right? We have Deckel, who's all the way pushed up, but doesn't even go through. T's are pushing in. Rowdy's going to have to do a lot here if they can be found. Gets one player low. Verks gets the trade, though. Verks in a 1v3. This would be massive to end the game. Can Verks do it and shut down Anubis right here, right now? Has to be aware of the A main presence, but it doesn't look like he's going to be. As he comes out, sees the player. Deckel tries to take him down with a nade, and eventually does with the rifle. Great effort there from Verks and T in chat. But it's not going to be enough as the map continues. Great find from the Leopards. That was their second round in this CT half, and they find it when it matters.
I'd have to agree with Rich on the one hand, where he said that, okay, you do that crazy push in mid, you get one kill, and it's the player with the least amount of frags. You feel like that doesn't do anything. But I'll tell you what it did do. It completely threw the Masters out of their game plan. They looked at that like, okay, these guys aren't playing standard Counter-Strike. They just rushed like crazy men somewhere. Where are they at? Where did they go? And it stopped everyone. They spread out across the map, and they just held for a while. And that's what enabled them to get picked off one by one.
Yeah, the change of pace really caught them off guard, and as you said, threw them for the round. It looks like they're trying to take some mid space again. LW gets flash, but it's not enough to stop the push as the T's are showing a lot of presence here towards mid.
It's a big nade.
Big nade, and I don't know if they'll be aware that they're doubled up here with the op of dirt. Verks throws a nice smoke that hopefully will block some info, but they're going to have to play rowdy, and Verks does not do it convincingly. Eclipse could overpeak right into this op, and does, and that is now 2 picks in favor of the CTs, looking very different. 3 in favor of the CTs, and those double timeouts have actually gone the way of the Leopards as they look much more confident now in their setup. Great find from LW, continues to rip heads, but Calf
That's
goes
good.
down, and it's all on LW.
That's a really good pick for Cutthroat right there. Recognizing his E-Box player goes down, he's got to take space B main to survive in his position. He goes out and gets the frag.
And Dirt shuts it down. Well, guys, this could be overtime. We got one more round in regulation, and it looks like the Leopards have picked it up after that timeout. I don't know what Dirt said, but passed on some secrets as we have now Deckel, who's been activated, and Cutthroat and Binu continue to play well.
You know what's interesting is I think the Masters made a huge mistake there in the last couple rounds of playing it a little bit more slowly and splitting up. Go together. They got to go back to what worked, what gave them their run here on this half. If they do that now with the MAC-10s, I think they can win the round.
A dirt pick here potentially slows sends them to overtime, right? It's going to stop this supposed B hit they're going to do here. Smoke is good.
That's awkward. We'll probably be able to get out, but no, LW shuts it down. The missed pick gets punished in a way that I don't think Dirt even thought was possible, as Rowdy's now being tested towards mid, and there's a bunch of different looks that the CTs are going to have to deal with. We can see that the T's have the bomb towards B. Eclipse drops down and is going to find a timing on Cutthroat and gets the kill. Very unfortunate for Cutthroat as that timing is very not in their favor. Binu tries to get the kill, but Eclipse 27 and 14 from Eclipse, and it is now all on Rowdy and Deckel to deal with this push. Nightbear takes out the kill. Deckel finds themselves again in a 1v5. Too much to ask?
Oh, I mean, we've seen 1v5s before on the channel. I seem to remember some HR player did it match day 1. You see? No, okay.
Verks is going to take the final kill, and that is map 1 in favor of the Masters. It gets down to the last round, but 1-0 in the favor of the team that chose Anubis as we're heading to Mirage next. And we will see if the Leopards, who have a current 3-0 record on the map, can take us to Dust 2. What a game. Alrighty, folks, we are going to head to a quick break. Please stick around as we'll be heading into map 2 very, very shortly. Thank you for being here. We will talk to you very soon. And welcome back, guys. We are here for map 2 of the Season 16 Challenger Final. It is SAV Leopards versus ACA the Masters, and we are heading into Mirage. Tell us a little bit here, Rich, about the history so far for these teams on Mirage.
So like we talked about before, SAV, a little bit of a puggy team. And what puggy team doesn't have a formidable Mirage? I know HR, we did at one point. However, a little bit of drama here. This is actually ACA's perma. Verx never plays this map with his teams. They let this one through. And I don't know if that is just, I would imagine, I'll say, that's because they didn't want to see a train pick up for SAV. This is, trains with SAV's easily most dominant map the entire series. They'd rather try to pug it out because, again, who doesn't really have a Mirage in their pocket? And we've all played, hundreds of times on this map. They're hoping they can get by on pug stracks to make this a 2-0 for ACA.
And now, Bible, we've talked about, the picks coming in. Obviously, ACA do a nice job of taking down their map pick of Anubis, and we've just talked about how this is leaning quite in favor of the Leopards. What do you think could put a wrench in that? What do you think ACA can bring to the table to make this one interesting?
Well, I noticed that when the Masters were going back to more strategic, tactical Counter-Strike, they started to find their success. They played together on the T side, and they made it happen. And if the Masters can, stick to their game plan, don't let the Leopards' puggy style throw them off. Hold for the pushes where you need to, yes, but get your executes in. Go together. Do exactly what you need to do. And punish the Leopards when they do those crazy plays, when they run at you or they or playing the crazy eco.
Very much so. As the Leopards are starting out on T side, and we get a quick cat push. It looks like a B split. Verx tested early, and Rowdy finds one. Leopards came to play, but quick tap from Nightbear as the other players managed to get the trade as Deco gets one. Eclipse gets a trade back, and we're in a 3v3 just like that. All three players in market for the Masters.
Gush.
See what they can do. Gush comes in on LW, and Cutthroat's going to get the trade or the final blow there on LW. Calf and Eclipse. 2v3, we hate this push from market as a CT player. You know you're kind of falling into the Lion's Den, or the Leopard's Den in this case, as Eclipse doesn't care. Cutthroat gets one, Calf gets the trade. Gushed, Binu, full HP against a 5 HP Calf.
Kid on Calf.
Down, manages to stay alive. Great kill from Binu. To start their map strong, Binu gets the kill, and very nice team play there, I think, from the Leopards to get their trades and win that round.
Leopards definitely starting off good here with the 1-0. Yeah, and you got to really come out fighting, right? You're in the finals here. Every round matters. You have to put in your effort. And I really like that ending play, getting that final kill there, dancing around the final little arches there, and but here's the time here. Don't mess this up. This is the bane of your existence is the anti-eco.
And they'll be tested towards ramp as the CTs walk in. Great kill from Binu. Great kill from Binu again. Calf, though, taking out Rowdy. Binu getting 3, shutting down any madness as one player is pushing through reps. That's Eclipse. And the other player, Nightbear, is close ramp. We'll find some context soon as Binu gets 3. And is aware that there could be one more. Nightbear's going to push, and this might be right into the arms of Binu, and there you go. Binu gets 4 up for the ace here.
Yeah, Binu knew the 4th was there. Good patience for him to wait for that player to walk out A main before his teammates could get up, or, wait for his guys to get there and fight his 3.
You're feeling very good once you convert that second round, but the third will be telling. We've talked about the importance of the bonus so far. And will they let Binu take this one down? Eclipse doesn't, finding the kill. And Dirt finishes it up. Nice shot from Eclipse there. You do not want to give your opponent the mental boost of acing. And I think that's a huge, huge, huge play from Eclipse. Could be the play of the series so far, folks. What do you think? No?
Yeah, it's either that or it would be the, I believe there was I think Bean got another 4K on the previous map.
Yeah, maybe like a full rifle round from Binu where they shut down the exec or something like that. But
early tack.
Could be a close second. An attack from the Leopards. Do we think this has something to do with Bible, their history on these bonus rounds?
I think so. I think they're very much cognizant of the fact that they throw these rounds away and they don't want to do it now. This is the type of adaptation you need to see in the finals of a series, and I'm actually really happy to see it. This is going to push the skill ceiling here a little bit higher, and the Masters have to step up and answer that call.
Yeah, and you can't take your timeouts with you, right? So I mean, Rich, it's a good thing that they're being so
Definitely.
cautious of this round.
Yeah, I think when we look forward, you guys, one of the big differences between these two teams, obviously, SAV plays Mirage. ACA might not, or ACA definitely doesn't. So I think the util matchup here is going to be pretty telling. I'd imagine that ACA might struggle a little bit. I say that as SAV misses the window smoke.
The caster curse immediately comes
I know,
in.
like,
And Eclipse has good vision, but it doesn't really seem like it's going to matter as we have an A exec pouring in as the smokes fall on stairs and jungle. LW stuck behind it. Caf seeing what they can do as the CT smoke's a little short. That might have
that's
actually been
actually a
Caf's own
CT,
smoke.
yeah.
Yeah, they dropped. Great spam from LW. Almost gets a kill on Dirt, but Dirt gets one. Cap gets a kill on Rowdy. Eclipse taking down Deckle. And the CTs are feeling confident in a 4v3.
HP low on basically the entire SAV roster right now.
Cap is going to push in and try to take this fight on the player towards Tetris. Gets the kill. Cutthroat going down. It's all on Dirt and Binu to clean this up. Binu's having a great start, but immediately shut down by Nightbear, and a great kill from Verx to again get themselves in the game. We've talked about this time and time after again, about how these bonus rounds are just not really going in favor of the teams that are winning the pistol and the conversion.
And the Leopards have struggled with post-plant scenarios, but you still have to look at the positives of this. They got the 2 rounds, although strangely enough, the money is actually really lousy for 2 of their players, so they do have MAC 10s. That is very unfortunate. They really should have had a little bit more, you'd think, you know, by the 4th round, having won 2.
Yeah, it's see how their economic choices either pay off or come back to bite them. As Eclipse blows the smoke, looking to get one, but it's awkward, and Rowdy actually gets the kill with the MAC 10. Nightbear, though, pushing into Abs with a nice aggressive push, takes down Deckle, and it's all even. LW, that's a tough fight against Rowdy, and Rowdy's just running up with the MAC 10. Verx has his gun in his pocket as he gets taken out, and Caf only manages to find one. All on Nightbear here in a 1v3. Rowdy's been having a great round so far with his MAC 10 that we seem to be caster cursing everything, right? We talked about them needing more than MAC 10s, and it works out.
Dude, talk about Rowdy running around like a madman and Con right there. Such a hard fight for the CT there on bench. I don't know who that was. LW, I think, or Eclipse.
Yep.
Really hard. I mean, Rowdy's running around at the speed of light with a MAC 10, like shooting you in the face. And I mean, he basically solidified that round for them with the triple there. So huge for Rowdy.
Huge from Rowdy, and Dirt obviously hammering the last nail in the coffin of that round as the Leopards actually managed to immediately get a round back after losing the bonus.
You know, we talk about Rowdy. I mentioned, we talked about it in the last series in the semifinals, that if I'm not mistaken, Rowdy might be the player with the biggest improvement in a single season at CSC, having gone from, I believe, prospect all the way to challenger.
Yeah, it's like him and the entire Big Slime lineup. They're really changing the whole thing here. Recon to Elite, I think, actually, as well. Wasn't Recon, was he Recruit or was he Prospect? Recruit, I think.
Recruit, I believe, yeah. Binu's going to work for a pick towards ramp here, but decides better. Caf, nice flash towards Rowdy. Now we look at the CT side setup here, as Caf just watches Rowdy run by. As they're running one towards, obviously, window, Verx has the 5-7 towards Abs, and they're in a pretty standard setup, but we'll see how the CTs like to approach us, whether they're going to be fighting for mid control, if they're playing more sites. We'll have to see. But the T's are taking their time. And again, what looks like an A split, but nice find from Caf.
Rowdy standing in the open there.
Actually, never mind. Eclipse also has one and finds a kill. Oh my, what a shot from LW, taking out Binu through the triple box, and Dekel, all of a sudden, feeling very much familiar with the situation from Anubis, putting a 1v5 situation. Sees the feet of one Nightbear, blissfully unaware that this player is now under pass. What a round, right? That just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it seemed like every single fight that SAV went for there didn't go their way. I say that. Dekel obviously gets a freebie in the back here, but this round feels like all but a foregone conclusion. Yeah, ACA winning literally every single fight, even some hard ones there. I laugh a little bit. We talked about Rowdy running around like a madman with a Mac 10. Him running around like a madman right there in front of Khan ended up being the thing that killed him. So, got to be able to rein in the aggression, even though it works sometimes.
Hey, it's in the name, right? Rowdy's
Yeah.
got to rein it in, but good save there. Obviously keeping the rifle, but Masters are showing that they are here to play.
Yeah, and you know what? 2-3 right now. Another tack coming in from Sav. Obviously, as it goes, Mirage, a little bit of a CT sided map. I would think that Sav would be pretty happy with 5 rounds or so, and I think that's well within their wheelhouse here. ACA doesn't play this map, so they got to bide their time, get good value out of this 4 spot here, and then roll into the next couple rounds.
Very much so, as we have a nice drawing display here from our wonderful observer. Thank you again, at Nexus. We love all the effort that you're putting into the production and the observing. And we'll see what we're going to get out of this this timeout. See if we get a change of pace. Obviously, the buy is looking a little bit on the weaker side for the T side. Florida, indeed. As we now have a lean towards what looks like more of a default, right? We've seen some aggression from the T's, but they're going to keep fighting this mid control. Eclipse has his gun out. Rowdy's found some timing to bottom Khan as the smoke comes in for window. Will Eclipse peek before this goes down? Doesn't get a chance to as his own teammate flash from Ket doesn't allow him to peek.
Rowdy again, man, with the smack 10 in front of the Khan. I can't stop laughing at it because it just is like he's running around for intel basically, and I think that is part of Dirt's plan here. Give the guy with no money a Mac and run around.
And B-New's
Big
gonna
B
see if
lean.
they can find anything towards A, but Rowdy's joined up underpass. It looks like they're gonna be grouping up B, but Bomb is still top mid. We have a setup that has drawn the CTs over. We now have 3 B players, and this kill by Binu could really put some pressure on the CTs. Eclipse finds a nice trade, but the CTs are now going to be wondering if it is an A hit as they group towards B. That presence there from Binu has really drawn a lot of attention, as the CTs, who once had 3 on site, now only have Nightbear, who's going to be tested here as the T's are scaling up. One's already dropped towards Car.
He
goes
needs
for
2.
the peek.
Got 1.
Great shot from Nightbear. Verx gets 1 from Cat. Rowdy again. Verx though shutting down Rowdy, and it's all on Dirt. Who's 3 and 3 right now. Gets the find on LW in a 1v3. This would be big after a bit of a unfamiliar map, but not aware of the 3rd player, Cat, but lives. Eclipse is going to be wanting that one back if this goes in the favor of Dirtschler. B 1v3 only has 1 more kill to find to confirm it, and is very aware. But Eclipse shuts it down. Eclipse continuing from Anubis to being a player on Mirage that is having a lot of impact with a nice clutch there to kind of save what would have been a very, very hurtful clutch there from Dirt.
That got really close there. I actually thought when Eclipse didn't get the kill as Dirt was planning, I thought, you know what, that's over. He gets the plant, and now you're in an absolutely dangerous 1 versus 1. But Eclipse, nerves of steel, apparently, is able to hold his all the panic in and finish it off, which is exactly what you want on your team. And it's great to see somebody performing well across 2 maps.
Very much so. I mean, Rich, what are your thoughts on Dirt, right? We had a quieter map 1, but seems to actually have found their shot already in map 2.
A lot of people talk about the IGL debuff. A lot of people say it's fake. I wouldn't know what to say here. All I know is that he's clearly shooting. He's clearly alive right now. As he jumped into mid window.
Might be a slight overcook, but you're on pistols. You got to try what you got to try. And Dekel gets one, but nice kills from LW. One comes down in the molly, and Calf helps secure that. As Cutthroat's left with the revolver.
I want to see this R8 sing, dude. Come
1v4,
on,
actually.
Cutthroat.
And if you're getting motion sick, that's not just you.
Oh,
Nice find there.
dude,
Cutthroat's looking at the observer, very aware that we are now watching this.
I mean, you got
1v4.
to. I mean, you're in ACA shoes right now, right? I mean, take a look at this. That R8 does legitimately 80 to the body. Eclipse is sitting there with 35 HP, LW on 2 HP. I mean, they're dead to one shot from this bad boy.
And a headshot to Calf can take it down, and that's exactly what we just talked about. One shot to Eclipse is very aware that LW is towards the jungle side. But absolutely clay pigeon shooting LW takes down a flying player as that revolver's unable to convert on the 1v3. Or 1v4 that would have been, actually.
Yeah, it would have been a 1v4, yeah.
I love a
And
shot
that's a-
like that. I don't know about you guys. I love when someone's midair, they just ragdoll and you're,
Oh, it's
you
sick.
feel great.
I mean, that round there is why I actually have the R8 and the Deagle equipped. You can't lose out on both those. You got to be able to pull out the R8. When you nail a shot like that, it feels good, and it actually is a psychological impact
Underpass
against
fight.
your enemies.
Oh,
Dekel, crispy. Nice shot, but the mid smokes are missing for the Leopards here, as this is going to give Eclipse some room. The op boost over the window
did they do that
doesn't
on
find its
purpose?
timing. They may have for the Opera to peek, and Dirt is very ready for it, but the Opera has found themselves to a more passive angle as Cutthroat's actually boosting. I'm loving these boosts. This is another really good boost. Of course, it doesn't pan out on this round, but the Leopards seem very prepared for finding some openings. As we've talked about before, it's very important for them to get those opening picks. And Dekel did just that.
I'm really interested in this Rowdy fight on Cat. I gotta know where he's gonna swing.
Looks like it's going to be a cat split
They
as
made it through.
Eclipse misses the shot and Rowdy's moving up. Again, we're going to have this player on backside bench, Nightbear towards jail. See what they can do as all 5 Ts are swarming them from 2 different directions.
He needs 2.
He needs to get 2. Finds 1. Gets a second. LW here to help. A
Almost
nice
a third.
take on the third. Nightbear does enough, and LW gets the kill on Dirt. 20 combined HP on the last 2 Ts, and this is very doable. Dekel, though, rips Eclipse. And it's all down to Dekel with 2 HP. Starting out with the first kill, needs to get the last 2. Sees the player out, gets the kill at LW in a 1v1 with 2 HP. Can Dekel clutch up? 15 seconds. Cav is nervous, but full HP. The tap comes in and Dekel clears, but is not aware of this player. Will he be aware of the bench player? Did he see his arm? I don't think he saw his arm. And Cav gets the kill, but that is just a micro timing that is unfortunately going in the way of Cav. Great effort there from Dekel.
There's some wild play by the Leopards here. I mean, we keep highlighting Rowdy running, sometimes with a gun that is not exactly the best that you would choose on the T side, but it is curious. They brought it down to a 1v1. It is working to some degree. Obviously, 5-3 is in favor of the Masters, but come on, Leopards. Let's see what you got with this sort of unconventional gameplay.
Yeah, I'm loving what we're seeing. A lot of exciting gameplay coming down to a lot of individual moments, right, where we've had a couple efforts at clutches that have seemed to go in the favor of ACA, just like that pick there from Verks. Confident from Verks. The IGL seems to be calling a shot in some of these rounds, which we like to see. Now is not done. Pushing up towards top mid. We have another passive French timeout here from the Leopards. Nightmare, though, pushing BEPs. Gets one. Will he clear close?
Oh, the R8,
Nope.
man.
Binu takes down Nightmare. And we have 3
I want to
Ts
highlight
remaining.
Calf for you guys. Calf had a really, really brutal first map. He's 10-4 right now. He's frying over there on the A site, man.
Calf is playing well, and unfortunately, though, his teammate goes down underpasses. That seems like an unforced error. And now it's a 3v3. 1 gun recovered. Dirt Slurpy's got the revolver. You never know what might happen. Clip's not finding anything mid, and the CTs are quite spread here. I understand why, but it's feels like the T's just have to group and decide where they're going, and it could come down to just a couple trades to seal the round for them, as again, the B site looks to be their final destination.
No head armor here on Verks. One shot kills him.
No head armor, but Eclipse hyperware of Cat. Nate's going to come in, Verks is going to be tested, and it's all down to him as no teammates are close by, but he tucks. I like this tuck as the players aren't aware, but it's a little messy. Nice kill there. What a headshot find that was necessary as Verk manages to keep his life here. 2v3s, the CTs come in and help, but Dirt is taking it into his own hands. Gets the first kill. Calf, though, consistently helping out in these rounds, goes down, and a great trade from Verks. The player that was there alone, actually playing his life the whole way through. Great team play there, I would say, from ACA.
Credit to SAV, man. They're making every single one of these rounds close. 6-3 right now, but it could have easily been 6-3 the other way. And because of that, Bible, look at the money, man. SAV is swimming in money off of these kills, and ACA, they're going to cobble together a couple FAMASs, low util from this ACA side.
If you ask me to explain the economy in CS at this point, I mean, I'm at a loss for words. I understand what you're saying. I understand how it works. I still don't understand how we got here exactly over the years. It's just very strange. The winning side is struggling to put the money together.
Yeah, the CS2 lack of an economy update, right? It's something we're all still thinking about and dealing with. As Eclipse blows the smoke, tries to find the pick, but gets the info. Our KZ Pro and Cutthroat unfortunately misses that jump as Verks is going to work his way towards ladder, and LW's got to be careful of the Palace push. A lot of timings that could go either way so far in this round.
Yeah, this Deckle lurk here up in halls could be really, really impactful if he comes out late enough. Yep, that's where it is. On ticket, I believe that pick. 2 for Deckle.
2 for Deckle. Bino gets 1, and Eclipse is only able to get 1. ACA IGL, Verks gets 1, and Nightbear trades. So it's all on Nightbear here with a 1v2 left over. Aware that there could be a timing here, actually. This could be massive if they find this guy on Dirt. But Dirt is too quick with it. Nice kill there. And we can see, as you said, this could have been a 3-5 in favor of the Leopards. They're fighting their way back into this game now that they finally got their economy in order. And the CTs are starting to struggle because of the state of the economy, as we talked about already, Bible.
The thing that would scare me is if the Masters had won that round from a Leopards perspective. If you go 7-3, even if you're getting kills, even if you got the money, 7-3 is where you start to say, okay, guys, we got to buckle down. But fortunately, they got it. They're now 6-4 only, and they can easily make this a 6-6 half.
Some mid aggression here, and Rowdy's going to be tested. Doesn't find one, does a lot of damage, but Dirt is now pedaling, and Eclipse and Nightbear combine for the 2. And it's a 3v5 in favor of the T's. They should be able to confirm, or in favor of the CTs. The Leopards should be able to confirm this as Cutthroat gets 2 underpass. Brings it back, finding a 3rd. And any chance now of the CTs fully taking a sweep is obviously shut down, but 2v2. Some good guns to pick up, and it might be well advised for these CTs to save these guns. To talk about some individual play, obviously Nightbear, we've talked about throughout the season, has been very impactful. Coming into the series with a 1.15 so far in the season. And Calf, who, of course, we've talked about, right, has a 1.0 coming into this series, is actually performing extremely well on that ace site, 11-6, and now that we have some rifles, hopefully they'll continue to do so.
Magic number 5, I said. I think SAV's pretty happy with this on their map. If they can keep it rolling, get this last 6th round, they're in a really good spot going into their CT side. I'd expect it with a piss around for them to mop the floor with ACA here.
Very much so. I think that we've talked about how teams like to approach these the halves, right? We talked about Verks wanting the worst side, and it seems like the T's and the Leopards are looking forward to getting over on the CT side, as well as Roddy works towards some mid control. The top mid smoke is going to come down as always. Eclipse seems to find himself behind that quite frequently. Very frustrating as an opera. As we now have a full 5 mid control.
Are they throwing this smoke wrong? on purpose?
I think so, as they're going for the boost over it again, and they have a boost from Cutthroat. I think they're deliberately missing the smoke to entice the CT to peek, but Eclipse is finding great timing on not being exposed, and Verx actually gets the kill on Cutthroat, so it actually goes in favor of the CTs. I do think that is planned, Rich. I think that they've done that a couple times now, and it's an interesting idea that hasn't panned out, unfortunately.
It feels to me it's like something that like big clan would run, you know, like you never miss any of your smokes in pro play, so you're gonna throw a miss smoke so they capitalize, but we've got something planned. It's really smart from SAV. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out that round. LW tries to block the smoke here. Almost gets spammed out by Rowdy.
Gets shot a ton for it. Looks like they're going for this B split again as the entry by Dirt on the op comes in. Eclipse misses his shot, and now it's all on Nightbear on the B site, but Eclipse finds Rowdy straggling behind. Nightbear here on the site doesn't manage to get one. Binu with a great entry, but Eclipse gets it back, and now it is all on Dekel and Dirt with 2 HP to see what they can do. See if they can get this to a 6-6 half. Dirt holding the market window, gets a nice kill on Eclipse. Dekel gets the kill on LW, and it's all on Cap. We've talked about the impact this player's had so far. Will Dirt be ready for it? Yes, they are. And that is the half 6-6 way to bring it back, I think, there for the T side.
You know, I think if you're the Masters, you're happy. You're absolutely thrilled. You get 6-6, it's even, and I mean, I could be wrong, but I think their perception is that the CT side is the harder side. And we saw it in the first map where they, you know, they came alive on the T side, right? They got to control the pace. They got to control the execution. They knew where they wanted to hit. I think you're going to possibly see the Masters run away if they're not stopped very, very early by the Leopards.
I think so. I think very selfishly, I'm actually loving this series so far. Obviously, it was 13-11 on Anubis, and now we're 6-6 on Mirage. Tight game so far. We know how important this pistol can be. What do you think, Rich? Is this going to be pistol all the way through, or do you think it's going to be a tough battle in the second half of this map?
I mean, it's going to be a tough battle. These teams are formidable. I just think, you know, it's your permaban on ACA. If SAV keeps rolling on their CT side, I think they're going to be pretty hard to go through.
And Verx has a molly and a smoke, and this might be the normal strat of smoking, you know, mollying window and smoking top com with the B split, which it looks like they're doing here. Verx drops that util. His team is going to scale up Cat, and it is going to be the B split as we have a late lurk in Nightbear. But Rowdy gets one through the smoke, and Cutthroat gets one out on LW. Cutthroat gets another. Rowdy gets a second, combining for the 4, and it's all on Nightbear all of a sudden. Feels very lonely, not going to clear the Balk, and goes down to Dirt after finding only one. That seemed like a CT side that was almost prepared for that, or at least or in a great setup for that.
That was actually very convincing by the Leopards. Their CT setup looks, I mean, I know it's a pistol round, but it looks solid. It looks very, very nice. The shots through Con going through the smoke, we're going to see a lot more of that, in my opinion, to counter the fast Cap plays.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of that strat. I mean, Rich, what are your thoughts on the T's approach there? I don't think they did too much wrong, other than just, you know, losing the gunfights and getting shot through the smoke by Rowdy.
Yeah, I mean, Rowdy 2 smoke picks. There's not too much to write home about there. I'm more concerned with this 5-man palace pop here. Let's say Binu's got to get a couple, and I think he's in a really good spot to do it. Dekel's got to be in contact with his teammate here. A molly soon, I'm sure. Yeah.
Molly's going to be a little late as the kill comes in, and Calf tries to plant the bomb. But Molly's making it hard and shut down. Doesn't get the bomb down. Your only goal there is to get the bomb down, and I think that Molly does a nice job of preventing it.
Yeah, Sav only losing 1 there is huge. You know, they can drop guns around. Everyone's gonna have a rifle. A full buy this round. It's good. A full buy. It's a cobbled together buy with FAMASs and MP9s, but a full buy nonetheless.
We've got a somewhat of a buy round here, right? We talked about just then what's going to be coming into it, but at least we have some rifles. Calf is going to be holding this push from Dekel. Does Dekel commit to it? Dekel doesn't find a great timing on Kef. Kef seemed to be looking the wrong direction there, as Rowdy's going to support Dekel on the way out. And the CTs show that they are comfortable with some early aggression.
Look at the T-side setup from ACA here. Usually what you'll see is a bit of mid pressure, right? You want to be able to pressure rotates and influence rotates on this map, and what we're seeing is a little bit more of a passive 2-1-2 with late control mid from Eclipse here. SAV feels pretty happy. They don't really need to rotate anywhere. They're not really feeling pressured. Looks to me like we've got an ACA lean towards A, so we'll see if Rowdy's spotting that out. They're going to be ahead of these rotates.
Yeah, Rowdy sees the body there, only sees the one cross, and so we know that there's two there. Eclipse and Nightmare taking their time as we have a group up towards ramp from LW and Verx. Again, seems like Binu's going to be probably tested here, and we'll see if a boost comes in towards window. That's going to make noise. Deck was hyper aware of this, but actually loses the gunfight as Nightmare finds a way into the site. And now Binu's going to be tested. Binu gets taken out. Nice kill, though, from Rowdy. Manages to only get the one, and the CTs are going to find themselves down a man. I really like that boost there to get Nightmare into the window. Obviously, it was pretty obvious that it was happening with the sound cue, but they do a nice job of getting the kill, and Nightmare might get it timinged here. And does not. Verx and Nightmare shutting it down. Really, really like the way that the T's grouped there, and Verx again showing the importance of their calling throughout this series.
It's a shame for the Leopards because I really like their CT side setup. Their style is actually really nice. I really just appreciate the way that they're covering each other, the way they're working the team picks. I really thought they had that round, and they just let it get away from them. Unfortunate gunfights. It did not go their way.
Leaves us with another revolver buy. What do you think of this? Are you a big fan, Rich? You like the revolver coming out again?
The Cutthroat's alright, but I didn't know this about him, but it's like one of the more alpha things I've ever seen. Are you kidding me, dude?
Dirk gets one of them from you. It's falling apart. Bomb is getting planted as we speak. Nice kill from Verx. Great headshots. Wasn't necessary, but still finds them. And as the revolver is out, it leaves Dekel and Dirt here. Down one.
Oh no.
Doesn't get the kill, but Dirt cleans it up, and seems like they're going to be saving the ACA with just a look in here from Dekel. Calf deals with it, no problem, and Dirt is going to run with only 3 HP. We'll probably get out of here safely. But a nice job, I think, from the CTs with what they came into the round with. They take away a lot of guns, and they managed to save an AK. I would say that's a pretty good round.
Guys, I can't stop laughing about this R8 buy. It's not that it's ridiculous. It's the fact that like everybody and their mother is like, oh, the R8 sucks. And Cutthroat's coming in and getting just like unbelievable value out of it against like full rifle buys. It's like low key kind of keeping him in it.
This Leopards team, man, Rowdy on the MAC-10 and Cutthroat with the revolver. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, the R8 is actually, it's not a terrible gun if you know when and how to use it. It's actually more accurate than the Deagle in certain areas. Like if you're A-long on an eco trying to hold on Dust 2, you can actually get some really crazy headshots with it.
Big Bible Clinger support for the R8, which we love to see.
I might have to put it in my lineup just for you.
Yeah, I do want to know, like, Bible, what pistols do you have, right? Like, I'm thinking, you know, P250 and 5.7 are pretty vital, you know. Like, what pistols are you rocking?
Ooh, big
Yeah.
nade.
P250, 5.7, Deagle, R8.
Rowdy only gets one through the smoke. Cutthroat, though, gets one from bench, and that's important that they stay alive as Nightmare gets the trade.
Dirt needs to live here.
They're trying to do everything they can. They're going to get mollied off, and that's going to put a halt to any aggression that they're hoping to have.
This cat duel between Dekel and I think
Though.
LW.
There's a push in a market, though, from Nightmare. Nightmare is actually in market. Can they find a timing through the smoke? Dekel gets a kill on LW. Oh, and it's unfortunate for Nightmare, and it's all on Calf here. And it's going to be too much to ask. I like the effort, but a nice retake there from Leopards as they actually will take the lead 9-8 on the
Caster
CT
curse,
side.
man. Hey,
What
can
is-
we just take a second here? Calf is 12 and 11, but he has 27 ADR. I don't know if I've ever seen 12 kills with 27 ADR in my life. How does the math even work out on that? Can I see the scoreboard here?
Is that
I
real
think it's-
ADR?
No, I think it's bugged because earlier
Okay.
they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
showing
yeah, yeah.
0.
Okay.
So-
I was
67
like, that's
ADR.
crazy.
So now obviously we had a tactical timeout. We know the implications, but more interesting is the pistols. So tell us, Bible. You're on T side. What pistols are you bringing into the round?
So if you're going to be doing the running around, Tech 9, very nice, especially close range. If you're going to be doing something a little bit further, you bring the Deagle. And if you're really trying to be wild, you bring the R8.
So you don't have P250 on T side?
I do have a P250, but I usually don't bring it out. So I soured on the P250 for the most part and only people are going to remember this if they're playing long ago,
Yep.
but the P250 used to be a one-shot headshot even against helmeted opponents.
It was so
way back.
sick.
And
That's a good one.
I would buy it all the time. I had a very nice P250 that I just love to bring out and get those kills.
Dirt's going to see that towards the ramp and dropping a nade. That's going to do a lot of damage as Eclipse taking 48, 10 on a Nightmare's Will. The Mac 10 buy here with a couple rifles on Verks and LW. They're going to line up for an almost insta A exec. A lot of util getting dropped. And we have the stairs up. Dirt is very aware there could be a player, but the jiggle actually throws them off, and Beaner's going to be tested on site. All on their own, they're aware that this player's default now as some shots get rained off, and while the push comes through from Deckel, is it going to be enough? Verks finding 2. Great spam from Rowdy, taking down Verks. It's all on Calf here in the 1v3. And Rowdy, what a 3K from Rowdy. We see that spray through the smoke manages to find a second and deals with a third, no problem. That looked promising for the T's once Verks got those opening picks, but I think it was quite telegraphed. What do you guys think on the way that the Leopards reacted to that?
Yeah, I mean I don't think ACA knew they'd been spotted by Dirt. Dirt obviously had called the rotates as we saw. Miss smoke there on the jungle smoke really screwed them and allowed Rowdy to kind of get out and get. I mean, I believe that was a really impactful triple. Keep an eye out for Rowdy's scoreboard. I think he's got some of the most impactful kills out of anybody in the server at this point.
Some nice movement from Rowdy getting into ladder quick. It's not going to result in anything off the rip, but obviously only pistols on the T side. They're letting off some warning shots as Eclipse is going to work towards bench and maybe try and find themselves into window.
Bible, you think we're gonna get they're gonna get ecoed here? We've been seeing that a lot. Probably not now.
I don't think this round. I think the Leopards seem to have a much more structured CT side.
What a weird Molly interaction there, but manages to do its job. As Rowdy's early self-boost into to the window ladder room area is going to result in a nice find, and Dirt is watching over reps.
They
A little
tagged him.
uninspired here. They tagged who?
Dirt actually took a shot from there when he was watching that. He took a little bit of damage here.
Well, they're hyper aware of this window hold. A little uninspired, I would say, from the T's as they're getting slowly picked off, but not too many ideas, honestly. As an IGL myself, it's kind of hard to call on Mirage T side sometimes when you haven't got much util.
You should shoot the wall.
Quick run across allows them to get down, and bomb plant could be huge. Cutthroat caught out in the open, but managed to get one, and Rowdy's here to support. And it's all on Verks with not much HP, and he's going to go down to Cutthroat. All 5 alive for the CT side as they get 11. Seems like this round would be pretty important, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that was 5 up there against Ecos. Look at the money now. The money they could lose a couple and still buy in. So this is big for SAV.
I mean, I don't think it's just controversial at all to predict that the Leopards are going to walk away with this map. Obviously, it doesn't have to go that way. The Masters are definitely still in it, but everything that we just said, the money, the strats, everything, the trajectory right now is a Leopards victory on Mirage.
It's been quite back and forth until this point where the Leopards have pulled away slightly. Nightmare already out ramp. Gonna drop some util, and seems like Binu's gonna be tested again as Nightmare's already sandwiched. Takes some shots. players on the CT side are now rotating over to help, but Calf finds one, and LW actually finds the pick on the player towards Palace. Binu, though, getting the spam. Nightmare finds another important frag. Seems to be doing that on this T side. We're opening up the site for his team, but can it be enough now? As Nightmare again, see that impact is always ringing true for Nightmare. We know they've been such an asset for this team throughout the season, and they are doing a nice job. Binu,
So we just said this feels like a SAV map right now. Bible, did we just
I will
cast
say
a
that was
cursor?
Bible. I do think that was Bible. I want to put that on Bible.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I really, what I struggle to understand is how the Leopards got locked out of the A bomb site so definitively right there. I appreciated Binu's attempt to win that back by getting the kill on the bomb planter, but then Nightmare just replies right back with getting that kill in jungle through the murder hole. It's a very strange round. I really don't understand how it just worked out that they let themselves get shoved out so quickly. If they hadn't done that, even if they had fought a very scrappy fight there, I think that would have gone a little bit better for them.
Yeah, I think it's an important frag as well from LW, finding that player towards Palace, right? As soon as Binu has to back up, that player's isolated, and it really allows them to get the site. As we see, the Masters are actually going to call a timeout after that round win.
They're going through the throat here. I mean, Cutthroat on the other team, they're going for Cutthroat's throat. Masters need this round. They're probably going to destabilize the SAV economy with a full 5 dead here. Verks and Co. want to get this one right. This is a good timeout call. If I'm SAV here, right, Bible, I mean, I think I want to get a dirt pick early, put him in a position to go for a fight, and I want to rely on Rowdy continuing to get these really impactful frags along with good anchoring from everybody else.
Yeah, definitely. The thing that's nice though is that everybody on, I mean, I guess both teams, everybody is fragging to some degree. Everyone's getting kills. It's not like last map where you had a slight issue, right, with one player, struggling to find his way. This is everybody playing. Obviously, some better, some worse, but you have to be careful. Every time you push, every site that you try to open, there's going to be somebody there who can actually take you right out. A lot goes into these rounds with MR12. I actually have to turn this back to you, Rich. What do you think of MR12? Was this a positive overall? Now that we've had it for a long time here, was this a positive change for CS? Do you really think this was a good idea?
I think, so there's 2 parts. As I'm a hardcore CS fan, I love seeing more rounds of CS. We're kind of in like a position right now where the economy needs to, I think, be a little bit tweaked to be in line with that 12 map series. But I think for the most part, like for a casual viewer, and I think to some extent like a player, having a bit more faster paced games is easier to watch and can be a little bit easier to play. So I'm 50-50 on it, really.
Yeah, I have to say I do appreciate shorter games. I think part of what Valve was looking at is, you get MR15, you could play 30 rounds, and a good portion of those rounds were straight up save rounds, like not even like half buys. It was like maybe you get a P250 at best. You spend $300 in the round or nothing, and you're using a bunch of time. And, you have to ask yourself, do you really want to watch a major where, a certain percentage of the rounds are like that they're not even, they're already pre-gone conclusions as to what's going to happen. It's just how we get there. And I think that's what they were trying to fix. So I appreciate that. But then the other problem is that CS already being a stressful game, now you have less rounds. That means every single round matters so much more. You have to put so much more energy. And if you lose the round, it's a greater source of frustration.
Very much so. As we're getting back into the game now, we had a bit of a tech there, but thank you for being patient with us. I would like to say congratulations to the Prospect Champions, HR taking it down, as Nightmare gets taken out. Nice pick there from Dirt, and LW having Util out gets taken out by Dirt again. That's 3 for Dirt. Immediate impact on the up, but Eclipse trades it back, and now a 2v5. Verk says, I'm not done with this round. The IGL decides it's not over as he brings it back to a 2v3. It looked very confident from the CTs. A really nice look with the op there on A site. But now we find ourselves in a slower pace 2v3. Looks like the T side is going to group up towards A on a more delayed timing. We'll see if a rotate comes out, though, from the CT side, as they do not have bomb. And they might
They're
be wondering where these Ts have snuck off to.
looking for a rehit. That smoke is bad. That smoke is really bad for them. They're going to have to wait this one out. I'll take a second here. Congratulate my franchise mates, the prospect team from HR. That's fucking huge. They work so hard. I'm so proud of them. Good job, boys.
Family show, but
Yep.
big congrats.
sorry. I'm excited.
All jokes. As the Masters push onto site, that delay hit actually drew some rotates, and now Verx is trying to find his way around bench. He does have the bomb, though, and if he goes down, this could be bad, and Rowdy takes him down with the bomb, all on Eclipse in a 1v3. Would have
Impact
to make
from
it
Rowdy.
4 for the round, and yes, Rowdy, lots of impact with that kill. 20 seconds left. It's not looking likely, and it might just be a save if the Opera can get out of here. But he's going to move forward. And this save would allow a very comfortable match point for the Leopards. If they take down one more round, it would be a 1-1 as we would head to a third map of Dust 2. I know I want to see the decider, but we will not pull a Bible Clinger and jinx this one here.
It's going to happen, guys.
12-9.
We're predicting it right here.
This is going to be the last round.
This round right now.
There is no way they can mess this up.
Oh, man. Well, you know, obviously the buy is a little bit weaker on the T side, right? They have some util on Calf, but everybody else has a little bit less than they would probably be liking, and only a Tech 9 on Nightbear. Eclipse going for the early pick, doesn't find the player crossing to stairs, as we find ourselves in a slower default again. We see this from the T side. They're now working with a 2-2-1, which is more similar to what we saw from the Leopards in the first half. But the Leopards are doing a nice job of taking mid-space, and I think Nightbear is clued into that as they move on up into Valley. Rowdy throwing that smoke to try and give himself some space. Verx has to be aware of this, and the Molly moves him out of the way. But Rowdy could find a timing here at any moment. Nightbear, though, finds a kill on Deckle, and Calf actually finds a kill on Rowdy. Great kill from Dirt. Look in all directions to see what they can find. Binu manages to lock down the site, and now we find ourselves in a 3v3. Eclipse has the up, knows there's one site, the timing's rough. Binu misses the shot. Calf gets the one on Dirt, though, and Cutthroat gets the kill on the trade. 2v2, Eclipse on 13 HP. What can Verx do? He has a flank, probably telling his Opper to either rotate out or to hold still, and it looks like it's going to be the rotate out.
Verx heard that rotate in from Cutthroat there. They're going to have this B site for free, and I think SAV's got to be really quick on clearing this space out here.
I mean, when does the ball drop, right? You got 20 seconds left, you don't see anything. Maybe start to let a player rotate over, as Cutthroat's doing exactly that. And Verx actually has a very nice position towards market. Not being overzealous, though, doesn't want to get caught out towards murder, and is just going to chill in market for now.
Laws, you're an IGL. Are you calling a save here? Because look at the money on the CTs. Things can get a little bit precarious if they lose these two guns.
I'm saying I give this a look in. I say let's see what we can find. Right now, you know, there's the op apps, right? You
Yeah.
get early information, and maybe now I would say let's commit to it. But right now I'm running. If I'm Binu, I'm out of there, and that's exactly it, right? They try to commit. It was actually a bit of a disjointed effort, I think. They could have really put a lot of pressure on Eclipse, only on 11 HP. But they don't manage to play that together, and now we have a 12-10. This feels very familiar.
This time,
Sure
guys,
does, man.
there's no way they can mess it up this time.
This is the round. This is the round that we take it.
We are going to get a full buy round here. And what do you think the Ts need to do to continue their success, Rich? What do you think they have been doing well so far?
It's really just been they got that flurry of kills at the beginning of the round that sent the whole CT side into disarray. It really was those openers. And they got to keep going for those openers. because SAV, as the rounds go on, seems to be holding the sites so much better.
And then Bible, I mean, in terms of the CTs, how do you close this out? What are you telling your team if you were in Dirt's position?
I'd be giving the biggest hype speech you could possibly give. Like, come on, guys, we gotta keep going here. Like, what is this, 12-10? Like, we can close this out. We're better than this. You know, everything that you're hoping motivates the team right here. Hold your positions. Don't give up anything.
And that's a rare sight. We've seen a landed window smoke. As we get a
Palace.
default out again. This Palace push from Deckel.
Wow.
And Calf goes down. What a kill from Deckel. We've seen very different sides of Deckel throughout this series, but it seems to me that the CTs have been rooted on by their IGL. Rowdy gets the kill on Night Baron. It's a 3v5 for the Ts. LW trying to find something towards B-Abs for the life of them in this map. They want to win it out on Mirage and 2-0 this team, but the Leopards are not ready to go home.
Yeah, this round's feeling pretty cooked.
Verks is working their way up. Khan actually drawing a lot of attention, and that might draw some players over, but Eclipse not seeing anything as we've fallen into a bit of a slower pace. I think the Ts are aware that this is the map, and they're going to have to try and work together to get this one done. All on Eclipse now.
1v5, possible?
You know, there has been an offer that 1v5'd in a grand final before in CSC, and that's me talking currently, so I've seen it done. But
2 1v5s? I've had a 1v5 too, not in the grand final.
Great pick though from Eclipse, trying to do everything, sees the shadow, knows there's one get right, and it's not over yet.
Rowdy's trying to fight off like the Green Goblin mass to peek here. There
Great
it is.
pick, knows there's one get right, will he clear the close? Oh my! Great effort there from Eclipse, but that is going to be a shutout on the final round after the timeout called from the Leopards. 13-10. It is a 1-1. Folks, we are not done. We're heading to a Dust 2 decider. It is 1-1. We got an ACA 13-11 win on Anubis, and now we have a Mirage win for the Leopards. We are going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with some great analysis for the last map. Make sure you stick around because this is going to be the final map of the Season 16 Challenger season, and it's a map that these teams have already faced on. So we'll be right back. Stick with us, and we'll see you in a sec. Welcome back. It has been a very exciting night so far. It is 1-1 in the Season 16 Challenger Final between SAV Leopards and ACA the Masters. We will see what these teams have to offer as we head into Dust 2. And we're going to get started into some analysis. Rich and Bible, what are you guys' thoughts on this final map of Dust 2, the decider for it all?
Bible, match day 1, these two teams played together. Drastically different rosters. I shouldn't say drastically. Pretty different rosters for both teams. ACA ends up taking it out. Talk me through that.
So one of the things they did, Masters traded out some players. They traded Nick for Nightbear, and I don't believe they have Kaiser anymore. That was a change. The Leopards, Hooligan was the player that they no longer have. So definitely roster changes for both teams. What was interesting, though, is that the match ended up in overtime, a 16-13 win for the Masters with the old lineups. So you have to ask yourself the question, how much do these lineups matter, the changes that they made? I definitely think that some of those changes are going to affect the teams in terms of firepower, but as we've seen, like, these matches have always been close since match day 1 all the way till now. Here, rosters doesn't matter. We're expecting probably another close match, right?
I'd imagine. I mean, I hope so. At least we've seen 2 really close matches on both ACA and SAV's pick. If the decider goes OT, I'm gonna lose my mind, and I think all the viewers are gonna be pretty excited to see that. So I think we're the last stream going too right now. So I'm sure everyone's really excited to see a banger of a last map, and I hope these teams keep it up.
Well, there's one other thing I guess we wanted to just sort of sneak in there is that when the Leopards were playing, they were in the semifinals. They were also playing very, very tight games against DRG. The Drakes kept them fighting very close, very, very close, until they got to the third deciding map, and it was Dust 2. And they still kept it close for the first half. It was the second half when all of a sudden the Leopards just absolutely ran away with it and stomped their opponents. And so it might be a question of endurance, or it might be a question of they know how to play Dust 2, but maybe only one half.
I mean, this is the final map of Season 16 for these teams. Obviously, they have been through so much in the season. They fought so many people, and it comes down to one of the most infamous maps in Counter-Strike history. We have ACA against SAV, 1-1. It is the Challenger Final in Season 16, and we're starting it off with a B-rush from the T's. The Leopards are picking up the pace as Nightbear's going to be tested early, and Eclipse gets one off the rip. Eclipse gets one, but Rowdy gets a trade back on Nightbear, and now the T's have found themselves a comfortable home in the B site. Nice pace off the start from the Leopards, and they are ready to take down this third map. They want a trophy next to their name, and so does that guy. Cutthroat ripping the head off of Eclipse. LW, though, grouped up, manages to get a shot on Dirt, but Dirt is tucking for his life, and the kills come down in favor of the T's. All on Calf here in a 1v4 for the pistol round. Knowing Dirt is tucked back plat, this is going to be a tough one, and Cutthroat gets the kill. First round of our decider in the favor of the Leopards. Just want to give some context to our viewers here. Sorry, Bible. We're going to quickly give some context. If you're just joining us, we had a 13-11 on Anubis for ACA. We had a 13-10 on Mirage for SAV. And both these teams have been fighting with every bit that they've got to get into this decider, right, Bible?
Oh, absolutely. Neither team is going to give up right here. They're going to push it all the way to the end. If they can, they'll take it all the way to overtime. They really want to win this. Both teams are in it for the long haul.
We have some really fun stories. I mean, Nightbear's talked to us about how this might be their last season. Is that right, Rich? Is that what we've been talking about?
Yeah, interviewed on their semifinal match. Nightbear came in and he said, long-standing CSC member Nightbear will be retiring. This will be his final match in CSC, as I understand it.
And he manages to find one, find two. He's not going out without a fight as Nightmare gets two on the P250. We've talked about these teams struggling to convert on rounds that they really should.
Team kill.
LW, though, helps out the T side, saying, Verx, I don't need you peeking anymore. Time for you to spectate.
I mean, you got to love that. Like, LW and Verx have played together for a while. A team kill right there. That's a fun thing to laugh about. But yeah, these anti-ecos, teams we've been seeing in these playoffs have really been struggling with the anti-ecos. Eclipse picking up this MAC-10. There's a Glil on the board. This could get pretty dicey for SAV.
SAV's grouping long and they're scaling up, but they're not going to be too familiar with the get right Gandalf position here. If they make sure to clear this, they should be fine. But
long.
They're more focused on the smoke. 2 players long, actually, as Eclipse lets off some shots. A nice kill comes in from Nightbear. That's 3 in the round for Nightbear, but Declan Cutthroat get one back, and now it's a 2v2. Calf on long with a MAC-10. LW goes down, and it's all on Calf again in a 1v2 to see if they can win this round for their team. But Deckel gets the kill. Nice 3K there from Deckel to make sure they secure the second round. That looked very dicey after the first 2 from Nightbear.
Well, the craziest thing is they didn't plant the bomb the whole time there. They tried to plant and then they were denied. And then while the last remaining fights are going on, the bomb is still not down. It went from 20 seconds down to like 7 by the time the round ended. It was very close. And that's where you have to start wondering that TK that Rich, you were talking about. Yeah, you could laugh about it, but it makes you wonder if they didn't get that TK then, if that would have turned out differently.
I think it's important that they don't, that doesn't turn into any frustration, right? Obviously it wasn't deliberate, and hopefully, obviously they can reset their mental. Verx is a very good IGL. Hopefully he's getting his team, locked in on this next round. Nice nade there from Calf, actually finding some good damage towards lower, as Eclipse sees one towards Xbox, and Dirt is lining up for the mid to be smoke.
Eclipse needs a couple here, it feels like, once the smoke comes down. He's kind of the last.
Eclipse is going to be tested, right? But they're being a little hesitant.
That's a cool smoke right there. Cat player doesn't really know if they're coming up, in the same way that they don't really know if they're stacking towards B. So a lot of questions here for ACA. Sav's doing a good job making them guess.
A good pressure from the T's. They throw a nice molly there. The molly that's very in right now is that molly towards the box on Cat, as they're going to be scaling up. It looks like they're lining up some smokes, and Eclipse is going to calm over that there are players running up Cat, as we now have Verx and Calf ready for this this Cat presence, and actually a player long that can also have an impact later on in this round. The drop comes in from Dirt, and that's going to be heard. Eclipse has to be aware of this. There's one player in CT. Calf gets one. Verx gets another. Calf finding 2, and Beaner's the only one to be able to find one. Verx and Calf doing it all as Eclipse cleans up the kill on Deckel. A nice hold from the CTs there after it looked like they weren't going to be ready for that full T presence. They do a nice job of dealing with that rush.
And now the third map is really underway as both teams are on the scoreboard. Masters showing that they're still here and they want the Leopards to hear them very, very loudly.
Yeah, it seems like we have that a lot, Bible, right? Where we get the second round conversion, and we've talked about this over and over and over. That third bonus round, teams just cannot seem to find it, as we have a group up B. It looks like a B rush here, as Nightmare's got his nades out. Time to get your gun out as you're getting ran down by Glocks. Nice team kill there. 2 team kills. 2 team kills. Leopards say, Masters, I saw what you did. We can do it better. And they're going to double up on the team kills. 3 team kills so far in this map. I do want to point out, obviously, we've got myself, Laws, here. We've got Rich Money and Bible Clinger casting. And thank you to Nexus for running the observing and the whole production. I hope you guys are enjoying as we're heading into the 5th round. And we're going to see some guns coming out from either team, or both teams, actually. Sorry.
Is it crazy to say that this... I mean, I got to know what the record is for most team kills in a CSC game. It's probably the most for a playoffs match.
I thought probably. Fast, long presence here. Dirt's just going to run through, and it's actually going to catch Calf off after LW is also caught out. The long fight was quick, and so was the scale as the T's are now pushing up fast. I like the change of pace. Good call from Dirt on this rifle round. Nice spam, though, from Eclipse. Eclipse has been having an incredible series. The player tries to jump up. That's Dirt, and Nightmare is going to shut him down immediately. Wants this title in their final season. All in the T's now to hold on after they planted this bomb, and Dekel does the start of that. Eclipse, though, continuing to have impact. Gets a kill on Cutthroat. Dekel in a 1v1. It's all on Verx here to deal with Dekel. And Dekel dinks him. He cushes him. Oh my! We've seen different colors from Dekel, but that is the Dekel and hide effect that we get, right? This player can show up at any moment and shows us right there in this round that they are ready to fight for this trophy.
The Dekel and hide effect, that is a great line, man.
It is a good line. But the thing is that was the first real solid, like, clutch sort of performance that we've been really seeing that we can highlight. I know we've had players stand out and do good things, get multi-kills and everything, but it just goes to show, like, the trades have been pretty solid in this game up until then.
And right there we see the long fight again. Dirt decides it worked the first time, let's try it again, and Verx is going to go down. Must be a sour taste after losing that 1v1. You try to get something going and you're immediately shut down again, but a lot of T presence and therefore a lot of CT presence on this A side. As the CTs fall back to a pretty traditional default with one player towards the B doors, and obviously we have Eclipse on the op watching mid. Little do they know it's all going to be A so far. LW on the site here. Going to see some more util come in and calm that to their team.
One more smoke available for the T's.
There is one more smoke available. Nightmare's getting the info that it's not going to be B as the tons are clear, and LW is going to have a lot to do. Actually drops as the smoke gets blown. That's a little awkward, but Eclipse finds the kill through the smoke. Dirt going down. Calf finding the kill towards Goose there on Rowdy, and the T's are now down after getting their initial pick. Eclipse jumps up with the op. I mean, what a bold maneuver on the op as they're playing on that boxes. Tries to find the kill. Finds it on Binu. And Eclipse is ready for this series to be over as he gets another one. Dekel now left in a 1v4. We've seen Dekel on Anubis in this situation. And Mirage was not quite as often. But Dekel in a 1v4, this looks impossible as the defuse is coming in and Dekel tucks tail. That's the Dekel side of things, right? We saw the hide come out. And this time it's too much for him to handle as he, I think very well, decides to save.
Yeah, I mean, if you're SAV here, right, you just went on a pretty good tear. I was going to say, they should call a timeout. They need to figure out what they're going to do here. Clearly, the money's not looking good. They could maybe save and roll into a solid rifle round. They got to talk it over here. If I know anything about the SAV team, like we saw on this Mirage map, they're pretty happy to buy up here. We might see a couple R8s. I'd be pretty excited to see some value come out of those. Reminds me of when did that come out? 2015 R8 on this Dust 2. So it looks like we're going to see a full save from the SAV here.
I mean, obviously we've seen Eclipse have impact throughout this this series, and Bible, what are your thoughts on these individual performances that we've seen so far?
I mean, throughout the series, it's pretty good. Obviously, now we're seeing some players do better right now. LW 0 kills, but I love the fact that he threw himself off the bomb site to stay alive as he thought he was getting rushed down. That was a great play. Everyone's still here. Oh, what a grenade.
Oh my, huge nade, and Rowdy's going to be a little upset that that's taken 80 of their HP. Eclipse boosted here. You see them lower, gets the pick, nice shot on Dirt, and Dirt cannot seem to be facing an enemy as he's going down. Very unfortunate there for Dirt as it takes them to 1 and 6. Verx getting the kill on Cutthroat, knows there's probably a couple towards the Xbox here, flashing themselves in. Gets one more, dinks. Verx gets taken out by Binu, and Binu is obviously low after that exchange, but then Dekel gets the kill on LW, and that's where that saved rifle comes into play. Still should be manageable for the CT side, but some good finds from the Ts.
Getting a little weird right now. 2 picks is pretty big, especially on a rather poor Verks here. A win would bring them up to, I believe, 48. Any more kills here sets them up pretty well to harm the CT economy.
As we see, they're working their way towards B. Nightbear has himself nestled into the back of B site here, and this player has been consistent throughout the season, and it's consistent so far in this match. Knows that they want a trophy next to their name in their last season in CSC, and it looks like they are going to be tested on the B site.
Big
Dekel
pick.
takes out Nightbear. Calf here in window. Great kill on Binu. 3 seconds, not enough. All the CTs do is stay alive and they win the round, and Dekel's going to feel a little bit upset by the fact they didn't really give themselves a chance at taking that round. Do you guys think that's a comm issue or just a nerves thing, or is that just a challenger thing? I'm obviously, Rich, we're in the tier. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I mean, you got to imagine map 3 grand finals. You just cut off basically 2 full round count bouts. You're probably pretty tired. You're probably pretty hyped up. There's a lot of things moving around, and I also do think it's just Chally being Chally, right? That's how these things go.
Yeah, I mean, Teddy extended, right? It's
Yeah.
you see a lot of those mistakes, and my team bottom of the leaderboard. We know all about mistakes in Challenger this season. As LW and CAF are going to get mollied back, that's some good util from the T's. I like the space that they're taking in their default as they get lower and seem to be taking some cat control. The smoke from CAF is going to delay. The CTs are playing a very, very traditional setup, right? They're playing for that long control. They're having a player rotate back to CT, as we can see LW is watching the CT peak, and they have the player locked in on B site with the support from mid to B, right? This is a very normal setup. We'll see how the T's are going to crack this. Obviously, we've seen that they've been throwing the molly towards Cat, and that flash is actually going to be enough to drop Calf down with a reactionary molly to slow them even more. A minute still on the clock, and we'll see what Dirt is going to call.
Watch for this late A long hit from Dekel here. If they go A.
Huge fight though. Dirt takes out Nightbear, and that might actually open up the B site. I don't know if that push was needed from Nightbear, right? We're in a 5v5, maybe trying to do too much, and LW is going to be smoked off. Great shot though from Eclipse to do some damage. That might be important later on in the round, as LW is trying to push through, and it's very awkward.
Oh, they can't find
Eclipse
anyone.
gets taken down, and LW gets taken down. Verks with a nice trade, and there's low HP on the player close, but at this point, is it too much to ask? 2v4, your economy is not feeling too great, and Verks goes down to Dirt. It's all on Calf here. A very weird way for that round to seemingly kind of fall apart, right? We get the push into tons, and it all crumbles from that.
Did you see the way that when LW was peeking through the smoke, he literally could not see a single player? Just the timing of the way that Dekel and Rowdy fell back off the reloads. Every single peek, there was nothing there.
I did notice that. It's very frustrating when you think about it. You're going out for your first kill, and you know where the guy is. You know exactly. You hear him running away, and you go around the corner, and he's not there. And you know where he is, but you also know that the other guy's watching the other angle for you. So you're thinking, well, I don't want to expose myself too much. I'll fall back, and then, that doesn't work out for you.
Yeah,
and LW needed that kill, right? I mean, look at him. He's 0-5 right now. He's a confidence player too. If I'm Verks right now, I'm calling this timeout. I'm saying, hey guys, we got to tighten it up. We're 4-4 right now. We played a really good series. Everybody stay confident. You deserve to be here, right? And that's what I'm telling my team.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as you're saying, right, we have an 0-5 for LW, and the teams are tied up, right? It shows that with just a little bit more impact from some players on either side, this could go in one direction very quickly. I think if you're Eclipse there, you're right, you get that tag and you're waiting for help, and it just never comes. That can also be frustrating, right? Hopefully the Opper continues their hot streak they've had in this series, but we'll see how they're going to approach this round. They've got less than ideal buy with some pistols on LW and an MP9 on Nightbear. Good util for lower as LW is going to get flushed out, but Nightbear's doubled up here. I like this setup. See if the T's get overzealous. A bad flash could be bad for them as Rowdy's going to try and swing in. gets taken out. Trade though. How does Rowdy find one? That's incredible.
He gets LW in the back too, right? I mean, there's no good luck for LW here.
LW is probably feeling a little sour about that one, and Rowdy's glad that they got one. Good trade from the T side as Cutthroat maintains that control of B tons.
Bible, really interesting thing I'm seeing here. SAV has not gone long at all since that initial fight where 4 of them fought Verx and insta-killed. They're pressuring Con, pressuring Cat, they're pressuring mid, nothing long. Deco can literally walk out long here for free, and he's not yet.
Which is curious.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it is curious. Usually you expect a lot of presence long from both teams usually throughout the whole map.
Calf can be tested on B here. Gets a nice kill on Cutthroat. And now this mid to B is a little awkward. They're going to work their way towards B, and Calf is going to hear that. The T's are going to try and push through the smoke, and Calf is right here. This could be very bad. As Calf gets 1, gets 2. That's 3 for Calf, and the round's falling apart. Deckel now in a 1v2. Deckel's going to have a 3K on this round to clutch it up. 20 seconds left on the clock, and is going to want to back this clutch after they struggled to get the bomb down in their previous opportunity. 1v2. Will Deckel be aware that both players are going to be towards the ton side? As they hear the smoke come out, they're going to play around the stack on site. Sees one, lets off some shots through the smoke, gets one, and now pistol's pulled. Calf low HP isn't enough. Calf clutches up. What a huge clutch from Calf, 9-3. The top frag for this Masters team take them to a lead. I mean, this is so back and forth. I mean, this whole series has been that way.
Even the players are that way. Calf was starting out as the player who couldn't get any kills on the first map, and now here he is, with 9 kills here. It's very hard to predict right now. The individual players are having these ebbs and flows. The teams are having these ebbs and flows. And here we are with a scoreline that cannot be closer. 5-4 for the Masters.
Just a crazy round there from Calf, right? Gets that kill on the first player pushing out solo and manages to get the 2 pushing through the smoke. I'm not sure if the T's are going to be very happy with themselves after they lose the round in that fashion, but they're going to have plenty of time to think about it as we start with a much slower approach to this T side.
Really measured approach here from SAV. We can see they recognize they needed long control here. Taking long control is huge for a T-side attack. Deckel starts probing out the B lobby area here, B tons. I'm going to imagine we'll see probably some mid pressure into a long walk up from SAV here. I say that as the bomb rotates fully over to Deckel here. I think he thinks he's calling clear right now in the tunnels. This is an important fight on LW here. First on the board.
LW is going to get that kill, and that's a big one for them and for the round, right? It gives them all that info towards B. The CT should hopefully draw a player over, but it doesn't look like it's going to be quick enough if these T's escalate up now. A weird pause from the T's a little bit there as they seem to be kind of in 2 minds about which direction they're heading, and that's going to lead to Calf finding an easy one there on Rowdy. The Dirt nade takes out LW, and Dirt gets an incredible kill. The round has just fallen into the T's hands all of a sudden, as Verx now finds himself in a 1v3.
Well, I mean, every single fight went the way of SAV there. Verx was so confident that they had the round lockdown, he full pushed through B lobby there.
And Verx gets one, which is going to give the info to the T's that this player is long. Low HP though on Cutthroat, and Bino doesn't have much more.
Info on 1.
Verx does have a kit, but realizes the importance of having that op over to Eclipse and realizes their economy is not great. That's a good decision. It might be hard to swallow, but it's only going to be 5-5. It's not like you are majorly down in this game. Well, the round just kind of seemed to, as you said, they won every single gunfight, but it all happened just like dominoes, right? It toppled the first on that player with the nade, and they just managed to get the rest of them from there.
It's good that LW got his first kill here. If you want to give him some confidence, you should let him know it's nice you're here now. We were tied without you. Now imagine how far we can go with you here now, getting some kills.
Yeah, and Sorry, go ahead, Bible or Rich. You got that?
No, I was gonna agree. I think that's huge. Getting a frag means that he's in the game.
I think it's important to note that LW has been a huge asset throughout this series, right? While they've been struggling so far, I don't want to, harp on that fact, as
No,
they have
definitely.
been very good so far.
I mean, he
Versus killed down.
effectively kept him in that Anubis map for a while, so.
Yeah, LW throughout the season has also been a very important aspect of this team. Nightbear pushing long, gets the trade back on Verks, who went down in tons, and while they're getting swung, Bino's going to take out Nightbear on the trade, and the CTs try to take a fight towards the mid players, but it looks like they're going to group up and go towards the B site here. As LW runs over, 1 kill in their name. Can they get another? They're there just in time, but it doesn't come in, and that's going to be probably another round in favor of the Leopards. Nice shot, though, from Eclipse. That's going to give them a warning as to not overpeak this player who's been hitting almost every single shot that they've been offered up. And the quick
Big
flank from
flank.
Calf could catch out Dirt. Nobody's watching this. First kill comes in. Second kill. All on Eclipse and a 1v2. This is very doable. Knows where one is, and the car position is the only place that has not been cleared by his teammate. Gonna have to do a lot, though. It's gonna be tough if Rowdy plays off of contact. And Eclipse is just walking into sight. No care in the world. Finds the first. Sees the car.
Second.
Misses the shot.
Oh!
Gets the kill.
No way.
Does he have time?
He has to have
He
time,
has it.
right?
I think he has it. I think he has it. What a huge clutch this would be from Eclipse. And
Oh
he
my
does
gosh.
it. Oh my god. Was that Calf in tons? 12 and 5 now. Pushes into the site. Gets the kill on Dirt. Gets the second. Does tons of damage to the third. And allows Eclipse into the round. Nightbear must be feeling very confident that their team is playing well despite how they are struggling compared to the other maps they've played. With LW feeling the way they are right now, these clutches are probably dragging the Masters up to the same level.
On the back of what Calf did in tunnels there, coming out there and getting those kills, Eclipse pulls off what I think is the probably the clutch of the series right there. That is so big. And it's unfortunate because you could see what the Leopards were going for. They were waiting for, like, hey, we got to take contact, right? Why should we peek? Make him peek us. And unfortunately, he chose the weirdest angle, the weirdest pathing to get out there that completely countered the setup that they had. Fantastic play, very cerebral by Eclipse, and obviously great job from Calf.
Well, due to the lack of info, right? They weren't jiggling for any info, and the cojones just to walk through door and clear the box, and it's pretty obvious where that second player is going to be. Great shots from Eclipse, and it leads to a very, very nice clutch for their team. As Verx is going to take long control here. Looks like the T's are fighting for it more aggressively. But do you see this from Dekel? Or is that Dekel? No, that's Dirt, actually. Dirt working out B. Ooh. Timing is so tight. Eclipse is going to see him on the box, takes a shot, and Dekel, or
Look
sorry,
at the rotate.
Dirt is now causing a lot of mayhem for the CT side. Long presence, all on Verx to slow down this rush as they've been struggling a little bit on that long position. They go down again. LW, we know, needs to find some impact in this game. It's going to be tested as the cross comes in. The spam does not find its home. And just one little lurk out B has really opened this round for the T's.
Did you see you see Verx's health drop 50 on the immediate swing from Rowdy? That was like a 55-meter Mac 10 headshot that helped secure that kill on the A anchor.
And this would be a big clear if they clear this. Dekel gets one, but great trade from Eclipse. Eclipse has been lightning so far this game. Rowdy, though, getting a kill on LW. Nice kill from Nightbear as they push up. And the player in Rowdy's not ready. 1v2 now for Binu. This is flipped so quickly. And we'll see if Binu is aware of it. Gets the kill on Nightbear. Eclipse again in the clutch. What can they do? They tap the bomb. They get the kill. And it is going to be enough. Eclipse over and over and over has been the difference for this team. 7-5 for the Masters, and that is back-to-back rounds for Eclipse. What a half from the Opera.
Absolutely fantastic half from the Masters. I'm expecting them to still win this. I'm sticking with what I said earlier. Obviously, it's very early. Leopards are still here, but it's just what I'm expecting here. And as to LW, I'm actually also expecting him to come alive in the second half of this final map. I think he's going to start getting some kills here, and I think it's going to be a very, very good half for them. But it all starts with the pistol round right here, the final pistol round of this entire series, this entire season. It comes down to this half right here, right now.
The final pistol of the Season 16 Challenger season. I said Season 16 Challenger season, but you get what I'm saying. As a B rush comes in again, we saw the same from the Leopards, and the Masters take a page out of their book as they're picking up the pace towards the B site. Cutthroat tries to let off some shots, but the dualies for Dirt finds one, finds two, and a huge third as Cutthroat gets one, and it's all left to Verks as his team gets mowed down, and he's getting shot from everywhere as Binu converts on that kill. Huge pistol needed for the Leopards as the casters are pretty much rooting for any team that will extend this map even further.
Dude, I want to see an overtime banger so bad, man.
I mean, what a 3K from Dirt. What do you? I mean, the dualies are. I feel like you're right. You either have it or you don't, right? Like I feel like I can never hit a shot with those things.
Well, the first shot accuracy is fairly good with them, but it's afterwards that it goes to pieces, and you have to really get used to what is essentially almost like a spray down.
All right, we've said it 3 maps in a row. Bible, eco incoming, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think they have Glocks, so I'm gonna say no.
Okay, no eco here.
Well, the bonus is what I'm more interested about, right? If the second round comes in, it seems to be that the third is always the trouble. Dekel, though, performing well so far, but gets absolutely destroyed by Eclipse on the Glock, and Eclipse continues to have impact. As Cutthroat, though, cleaning up all these players on the Glocks. Nice shots from Verks. Unfortunately, doesn't find one. And you know, we've talked about Dekel having an important half on the T side. It seems like Cutthroat is now ready to step up and help.
If I remember correctly, guys, I'm pretty sure SAV has won, well, I think over 2/3 of the pistol rounds. I think they've got 4 of the 6 at this point, if my math is correct. Someone needs to fact check me on that one. We can see after the game. But I mean, that's a really big contributor to a winning team, I'll say. That's big.
For the pick here, Dirt looking towards Palm. Timing is awful. Unfortunately for Dirt, it does not go in their favor. That was going to be a very nice pick, and Dirt gets CS2'd a little bit there. CSGO'd, COD timing, whatever you want to call it, as we now see LW working towards B-tons. The bomb is going to find its way over that direction. We've talked about Verks' calling being a very important staple for the Masters this season. They've had a lot of group efforts and great execs trading well and playing as a team. We'll see if they can continue that into their Dust CT side. And this is the round for the bonus, where if the CTs can take this round down, they're going to feel very confident. And that pick is going to be the first part of that win. LW working out towards B. Rowdy finds one, Rowdy finds two, and it falls apart for the T side. LW tries to get something happening, and Nightmare finds themselves alone. MP9 on site causing trouble. The CTs know where the last players are, and you can see them starting to swarm in that direction. And Nightmare is going to have some impact in this half if they want that trophy next to their name.
Commanding round from Sav here. Rowdy with a big double. Dirt with a great opener, and he's got the op trained on long here.
Oof, great effort from Nightmare, but Dekel has been solid this entire series. Now moving on to 15-7. Great kills from Dekel. And great kills, I think, as you were saying, from Rowdy, right? A player who's a little bit quieter this game finds some very vital frags in that mid area.
He's the impact fragger for this roster. I said it on that Mirage map. Every kill that he was picking up was highly important, and it led to either a close round or a round victory.
We got blocks out long here. We got pistols, huge kill, and that's going to stop them right in their tracks. Nice job, Rowdy getting two, and you know, getting one on LW, fully blind. Nightmare tries to get something done, and Cath finds themselves alone. This is going to be 9-7 in favor of the Leopards. And you have to think, what is Verks going to do? We get a timeout.
What do you think? 90 seconds here. Are they using French time out for Cap runs in?
That's probably what they're doing now. They're probably talking now during the round to figure out what they're going to do. I mean, I would call timeout if you need it. This is really reminiscent of yesterday's semifinals rescheduled game between the Leopards and the Drakes, where it was a close first half on Dust 2, final deciding map, and then all of a sudden in the second half, the Leopards ran away with it and absolutely crushed their opponents. And it was close all the way through map 1, map 2, map 3 first half, and then the second half just went completely to pieces for their opponents.
As we see the double op coming out, or this, op on both sides. Eclipse finally has an op back in their hands. Dart has actually had a little bit of a tough time hitting some shots on this Dust 2, as we've seen a few shots whiffed in a row now, as Eclipse has not seemed to miss a single shot so far in this series. They have been lights out this evening.
Let's highlight Deckel too, a guy who plays a pretty supportive role for this SAV roster and really is what I'll say, from what I understand, is kind of the heart and soul, the hype man of this team. Having a massive game here, 15-7, 16 rounds in. I'd love to see him keep it up.
Right from Deckel, and some good space taken here from the T side as they're working their way up Cat. Again, we've got a very normal setup from the CTs, as we have some long control. It's going to be huge for Eclipse to not go down to Binu here. I know it's going to be hard for him to not go out with how well they've been playing, but makes a very good decision of taking their time. Flashbang comes in. This is going to be a hard clear. And Eclipse goes down. Great kill from Dirt, as the Ts are attempting to keep scaling, and they're going to decide against it. 30 seconds left to see what they can do. That first initial effort was not very good, but they do have some util. Nightbear has a smoke if they wanted to do a little mid to B here.
So good
That
for
smoke
Deckel
gets
here.
dropped. Deckel in a great position, though. Nightbear finds Rowdy. Nightbear consistently being the impact player for this team, and it looks like he's going to clear this from a calf with a great clear on Cutthroat. Deckel goes down.
Wow. And that's
I mean,
a save.
just around switch like that. We have a game, folks. It's 9-8 now as the Masters take that round. Really nice frags from Nightbear, moving through the mid to B, getting the kill on the player CT, clearing the player towards doors, and Calf solidifying that round for them. Something I think we need to point out, and I don't want to keep harping on it, but now 1-14. LW has had a great series, a great season for this team. With only a few more frags, I really think they could help push this across the line. And it doesn't matter what your stats are, right? But it matters how you're contributing to your team. If this team wins and LW is able to keep setting up their players and helping their teammates, then I think that's also a very important contribution.
Yeah, and I'm going to highlight what you said right there. LW has, over the course of the season, needed to be the guy to pick up those frags. He contributes to winning through getting those kills, by getting those entries. And I think we're seeing a lot of, I mean, that was a great round from SAV. I don't want to take that away from them. But some of the struggles they've seen on the T side really have come from the fact that he's been struggling to get into these rounds.
I mean, we see on one side, we have a team with 11 frags on one player, 10 on another, 12, 15, 13. The lowest amount of frags is 10 on Rowdy. It seems like the Leopards are playing well as a team, and yet they only have one more round than the Masters. Burke's going to burn there to the molly. Some weird spreading mechanics. Going to leave him half HP as he then goes down to Deckel. And LW is going to have to drop a nade, show some presence, as that's going to give the CTs a pretty good idea as what's going on. The bomb is going to work its way over towards A. Hopefully there's some good util here from Calf as the flashes come on out. Binu's blind, but the T's don't push off of it. And now they're pushing late, and Binu gets one as a result. The util is not very good. Dart takes out Eclipse, and now it's a 2v5 for the T side. Very disjointed from a team that has, throughout the season, played so well together.
I mean, this is the opportunity here, right? 2v5. If you're LW and CAF, Verks, you got to get your guys into the game here and calling out, yeah, maybe we go for this and save next. Might not be the worst thing if it means that LW can get some reps in and hopefully a couple frags.
Yeah, maybe that has something to do with with Verks going down first, right? The IGL goes down first, and the round looks a little bit uninspired from that point onward, right? LW would really like to at least get one here just to get themselves rolling in this match, but the player they are up against has been having quite a good game so far, as Cutthroat 13-9, holding this cat.
Feels to me like a save here. They're just going to wait it out and see if anyone peeks them.
15 seconds, and going down after time would be awful, as Cutthroat is now pushing. LW is holding this angle perfectly. Adjust for the headshot. Nice shot from LW, and that's going to give a slight bit of confidence. 10-8. Bible, we are only 3 Leopards rounds away from a title. This has been a crazy series so far. What are you noticing from the CT side that is allowing them to shut down a lot of these T side execs?
I think it's the setup. They're definitely playing in a way that complements the other players around them. They're covering each other. They're getting the kills. They just seem to be falling back when they need to, or things along those lines.
And Eclipse gets a great opening pick there on Dirt, but Rowdy's going to take down Verks, and that's another round where Verks is going to go down early. The IGL trying to make something happen, but falling to the molly. Deckle. Holding their ground as the T shows some mid to B presence. Great pick from Eclipse, though. Eclipse has been all over this map. Cutthroat gets another back towards Nightmare, and the teams are trading back and forth as the mid to B split is coming in. We'll see if Calf can find this kill. Blows the smoke, and Cutthroat wins the gunfight. Eclipse, though, seems to be unforgiving, finding another kill on Cutthroat. 2v2. Eclipse LW against Binu and Rowdy. This is a huge round for the Masters as Eclipse goes for the peak. Misses the shot. 24 HP as the bomb's starting to get planted. Another missed shot from Eclipse. It's unfamiliar as the whiff comes out on the no scope. LW gets one in a 1v1 against Rowdy here, and Rowdy takes it. Eclipse is going to be thinking about those shots tonight if this game does not go in their favor. After hitting so many, cannot seem to find the ones towards heaven window when it matters.
LW needed that, you guys. I see T Noodle in the chat. That's a great point, brother. LW needed that clutch. He's getting the frags that he needs now, but that would send your confidence straight through the roof, and that's huge for momentum.
Back timeout comes in here, Bible. What are you thinking?
Thinking it's a little bit dire right now. You kind of have to give an inspiring, do or die speech from the in-game leader, and you also need a plan to back that up. You need to be able to go somewhere. You need to be able to do something. It really seems like when they've been trying to go A long, they've been getting shut down pretty hard by the Leopards' nade setup. Maybe you could try something delayed there. Take something A long or some sort of play in tunnels. Something a little bit more definitive, teamwork style.
And Nightmare having a bit of a quieter game now, 12-16. If they want that trophy in their final season, they're going to have to put a lot of effort in. Dirt is looking for this pick. It's so close. Dirt goes for the shot on Nightmare. It connects through the box. Or no, that's not on Nightmare. Sorry, Nightmare's under Xbox. Unfortunately, it looked like that shot from Dirt was close, as Nightmare gets taken down from some util from Cat. 36 HP on Nightmare, but some good space taken towards long. The T's haven't been doing a lot of this long control, and when they did, it looked quite telegraphed. We'll see if they can show another look, as they are going to group towards lower as well with the bomb. 11-8. We're on the deciding map, Challenger Finals. Both of these teams are absolute animals. But for now, Leopards seem to be the better animal.
No long control here for SAV, but what they do have is Dirt up posted on Cat. If he gets the opener here, the round can kind of fall flat for ACA pretty quickly.
I have noticed that some of the util for ACL has been a little bit on the weaker side compared to the Leopards, right? Leopards had some good flashes and mollies towards that Cat area, versus it looks like they're just going in dry, and Eclipse gets damage on Dirt, but Dirt gets the kill. And any util really would have prevented that gunfight, right? I think we see some prep out of the Leopards that ACA may not have done this deep into the map. Binu doing great damage on Verks there towards long, but this player's scaling up. Dirt whiffs the op shot, gets the kill. Nightmare gets the trade back. It's now Nightmare in a 1v4 with only 9 seconds left on the clock. They're going to get one. They need to get this bomb down as the two players are nowhere to be found. And am I dumb? I am dumb. I thought they had more time. I guess the time ran out. That might have been the end of the round clock. But what a crazy, crazy round as we find ourselves 12-8. Guys, this is potentially the last round. This could be the championship for the SAV Leopards.
I'll say I want an overtime match. So, Bible, could you say this is the last round of the match?
I definitely think it very well could be. Honestly, I think right now it looks like the Leopards are going to walk away with it. It really does.
And the Bible curse is coming in as Verks is going to work himself towards lower. A normal setup here. We've got some long control for Binu. Binu has been very solid towards his long position, and the util from the Masters has not been excellent to dissuade him from being this aggressive. Finding themselves in an angle which is very hard to clear as the T's now work themselves up cat. Again, some util would be very beneficial if they could flash some of these players off these angles, but we've seen previously that it doesn't look like they have that in their arsenal. But Nightmare destroys Dirt on that swing. Binu gets one. Binu gets two, but Verks gets the kill on Rowdy. This is a huge kill from Eclipse, and he gets it. 2v3 now. Deckel has had so much impact in this series, and so has Cutthroat. Two riflers that you'd be very confident in having alive in this 2v3, as Cutthroat works his way with the unsilenced M4A1.
Dude, this guy's got the fun. And oh my
god! Nightmare! What a shot! And now Eclipse, is he ready for this peak? Oh. No, Verks gets taken down. Eclipse in a 1v2 for the map, and to prevent his team from going down in the finals.
So low.
1v2, nice kill from Eclipse in a 1v1. He has to hit this shot, and he does!
Wow.
He continues it. Eclipse has been lights out this series, and his team is going to thank him if they manage to get this to overtime. It is not over yet, folks. The Leopards do not close it out, and the Masters are continuing to claw themselves back into this match.
Dude, Bible, you were a magician, man.
No, it's been the entire game, the entire series. It's been beyond the series into the semifinals where it looks like everything is laid out. You have easy paths for these teams, and they just refuse to take the easy paths. They take the hard paths. They win the difficult rifle rounds and the eco rounds, and they just refuse to win the ones that are handed to them by their opponents.
I do think it's important to note here, guys, that CAF had a 1.0 so far in this season. Eclipse had a 1.06 so far in the season. Definitely not the players that on paper you would think would be top fragging throughout this series, but consistently Eclipse has been up there and CAF is showing their worth. These players have been working so hard this season, and it is all coming down to these last few rounds on a map that all of us have probably played way too many times. As we now have a different setup here, actually, from the CTs. They're giving a little less long control, but that's why the op is there.
Yeah, they're basically flipping what they did last round, right? Give up cat and hold long. Luckily, the stack seems to be outside B here. You know, Laws, Bible, when you get to a high-pressure scenario like this, especially on a map that, like we said, we've played hundreds of thousands of times, you go back to basics, and this is one of those basics.
We're hoping to see a continuation of this map as Eclipse is looking for a lurk. We get a mid to B smoke. It's going to be a spit. LW gets one, but Rowdy gets the trade back. Cutthroat blows the smoke, cannot find anybody, but is spamming CAF, and CAF gets the kill. CAF turns around. That's huge. They know Rowdy's on site, and the player is now going to see them car, but whoever that was window, CAF doesn't manage to get the kill, and his teammate goes down, and we're in a 2v2. A round that felt like it could have been close. The bomb finally goes down. And now it is a 2v2. Dirt Schlurpy has had an incredible season for this team on the up, and they finally have it in their hands. Verks, 9-17. Can he turn that around? CAF, already doing well this game, gets lowered even more. Verks is close. Will they clear this corner? Binu comes on out. Verks gets one, Dirt trades it back, and it's low HP. A missed shot! Calf, 24 HP. We are continuing this game. Folks, it is map 3. We had a 13-11, we had a 13-10, and it is now 12-10. Individual players stepping up. If you look at the green on the Leopards, you can see that this is a team effort. And if you look over to the Masters, you'll see that there are individual players that are refusing to give up. Calf and Eclipse have been locked in for this series.
I'm losing my
cannot
mind
believe
right now.
this, as a mid-rush would be a very bad way for this team to lose this grand final. We see that the mid-rush comes in, good nades to prevent it, but an eco has always been a downfall in this tier. Nice kill from Nightbear, shutting down Dekel. And now the CTs are grouped up towards A. Verks is going to hear that. He's tucking blue. I like that from Verks. Knows that the longer he can stay alive, the more impact he can have. He gets one. Gets two, gets three. We have a Nexus is showing us a fun time as LW takes out Binu. And there's tons of personality throughout this series. Team 12-11. Leopards
We're
timeout
going the
called.
distance.
We are going the distance. What do we think, Rich? How has this series delivered, and what are you hoping for in this final round?
Dude, there's so much riding on this last final round, specifically for Dekel. Dekel was on an adoption watch. He had literally never beaten Verks before. If he's able to pull it off, he literally federally emancipates himself from his father at this point, which is huge.
Bible.
I think if they don't win this round, if the Masters do not win, LW is probably going to be kicking himself for his own personal sanity. He's going to want to do something here to keep them going. And it's not to call him out. It's just that I think we've all been here in a scenario where we've had a bad game and we've just been struggling and struggling. And it's, you know, it's not typical, but it just happens and you got to get yourself out of it right here, right now.
Cutthroat getting tagged on the cross, I think that was. Already lowered down to 19 HP. Some good util from the players on the CT side towards Long, but that early damage might come into play as we know Cutthroat is playing that B anchor position. We have a fallback into a more traditional setup here from the CTs. 12-11, map 3, grand finals. Dirt, can you have impact in this game? Misses the shot, gets some damage back. And Dirt has not quite been on the pinpoint accuracy that they've had throughout this season. Dirt, though, as I say that, takes out LW, and the caster's curses continue.
And we just can't stop ourselves, can we?
Number in favor of the CT side. Rowdy's playing in pit, and the CTs need to clear this. Or the Ts need to clear this. Verks, please. Was that a gunshot from Rowdy? Oh, decoy. And that decoy might actually...
You know what's crazy?
Clearing this, Eclipse gets the kill on Binu, but they're not going to clear this. The same thing happened to ACA in their game, where they had a player playing in pit. One gets taken out, two gets taken out. Now we're in a 2v4. It's all on Eclipse and Nightbear. Eclipse has been incredible throughout this, and Nightbear is doing a nice job of trying to find some timing, but they need their knife out, or their gun out, because there could be a player lower, and they don't know about it, all on Eclipse for this team's life in these playoffs. 20 seconds, it looks unlikely, but the bomb is on Eclipse in a 1v4. Can the Opera do this? This would be massive. First shot misses. Second connects. Dirt here. Will Dirt go for the jump? Goes for the shot. It doesn't connect. 1v3. Eclipse is molly. This is almost impossible, but not for him. He gets one. He's burning, and it's not enough. Eclipse goes down, and the Leopards take it in regulation. 13-11. SAV up. It is a 2-1 to the Leopards. The SAV Leopards are your Season 16 Challenger Champions. What a series. Hopefully we're going to get the team in here. Rich, Bible, tell me, what are your thoughts on what an incredible series that was?
Bible, I don't know about you, man. We got the 3 apps we wanted. And it was a banger. It was like literally 24 rounds every map, man. That was crazy.
Yeah, and when you think about our predictions, the 2-1, we were in agreement with that, and it came down. It could not be closer as who won by a difference of the 13-11 difference. It was so close, the momentum was there. I thought for sure that there was a chance. Near at the end, I saw the glimmer of hope. I saw the chance to take it into overtime to make this even more epic than it already was. But alas for the Masters and the Leopards there, it had to end right here. And we got the game that we got. It was fantastic. It was riveting. I appreciated the entire experience, and I think both teams should be very happy with their performance and what they were able to do for this community.
I mean, just a 1-round differential, right? We had a 13-11, a 13-10. Actually, sorry, not 1 round. It would be, I believe, a little bit more than that, but you get what I'm saying. 13-11, 13-10, 13-11, right? These games could not have been closer. We see each team take down their own pick, and it goes down to the final map where SAV, who have previously lost on Dust 2, managed to get it in the last round. Eclipse does everything to clutch that 1v4, but it's not enough. We'll see if we can get these players in here in a second. We're going to take a very quick break, but please stick around because it is going to be a very exciting and electric interview with the winners in just a sec.
Yep.
And welcome back, guys. We are here with your Season 16 Challenger champions. It is the SAV Leopards. Of course, we've got Deckel, who hopefully will be joining us in a second, but in here now with us, we've got Binu, Cutthroat, Dirt and Rowdy. There's Deckel. Congratulations, guys. How does that feel taking that down dirt? You called a season and obviously, moving into that calling role later in the season. How does it feel to take the trophy after some of the changes that occurred throughout the season?
Well, I have to give a shout out to my teammates. They really carried me throughout this championship series. We had a lot of protocols in place ahead of time before I took over, so it was kind of easy. And of course, the firepower from new players like Rowdy, just the all reliable clutcher and Deckel. Of course, Cutthroat and Bean winning his second chip as the support player. It's just an amazing feeling. And I gotta give credit to my boys.
That's awesome stuff. Deckel, we loved watching you there on that final map. You had an incredible series. At one point, even bringing out the Declan hide, where you were just kind of turned into this different beast at one point. How did you feel in that series, and how did your teammates allow you to kind of activate in the way that you did?
Yeah, I think the one thing I gotta say is, you like that? Let's fucking go! Yeah, Verks was really trying to dig in me with some of those calls, but I don't know, man. I just completely powered up. I got 6 Stellas in me right now, and I think that's just like the secret gamer fuel that I need to perform.
And then Stellas are juice for anyone watching. That's a lot of juice going on for that big win. Binu, that's 2 trophies now. How does this one feel compared to the first?
It feels great. It feels a lot more, I don't know, cohesive. Last time we had a real top fragger in Pig, and he was just destroying people. So this one feels a lot more even across the board. A lot of
Gotta love
team
it.
effort.
Gotta love it. Rowdy, talk to us. How did that feel?
I'm still shaking. Like that double kill in pit, like the fact that they did not even fully clear pit was I don't get it. Like you have to full clear pit, man.
So a very interesting aspect of that is that's actually in one of the previous semifinals in this exact tier, a similar thing happened, right? Where a player didn't clear a deep pit, and it comes down to that round where just a small moment of, I guess, lack of focus, or I mean, even maybe the decoy from Binu that threw them off for thinking that there wouldn't be a player there, turns into such an impactful moment. Are you nervous as you see those players with their back towards you? Are you feeling good, or how are you feeling in that moment?
I was a little at first. I was like, oh my god, they didn't clear me. And then from there I decided to take my shots. If I missed, I missed.
If you go back and watch that, you can see he has just insane spray control there. I'm not even sure if he misses like 2 bullets. He just back to back just absolutely lasers them. It was incredible spray control by him there.
Yeah, we caught it on stream and it looked as good as it probably felt. And shots that we were also loving, Cutthroat, and obviously we haven't heard from you yet. I mean, just some shots where you were absolutely ripping heads. We loved your positioning towards that like mid to B site area and just shutting them down. How did you feel throughout that series?
That felt great. Big shout out to our opponents. That was a great match. It felt very back and forth, and provided such cinema.
Mega cinema for real. And one thing is that last round, you guys are in a 1v4 against Eclipse. That guy did not miss a shot the entire series. Is there any part of you when the first player goes down, the second player goes down? Are you starting to get a little bit worried, or were there any moments in that game where the other team, kind of surprised you? Talk to me about that a little bit. Anyone, go for it.
I think we were fine because he was low on time and we knew where he was. We know he's like we still had a couple of pieces of util, I think. So we knew he was shredded on site. I get it came down to a 2v1, but I mean we were just gonna overwhelm him. And I mean Cutthroat obviously finished him off as he's trying to shoot me. So I think we just had good team coordination. If they die, they die. We can trade them out.
Very good. Bible, Rich, anything for these guys?
Yeah, I got one. What was with the R8 revolver pick? Because I was going crazy for that, man. I was all over it.
Well, that's one of my favorite guns in the game, and when I bring it out, I become the sheriff of the town.
Oh,
Who did
my.
Who did I pick on my team?
I
Yeah,
mean,
real
the
quick,
winner.
shout out Booligan. He's no
Yeah.
longer with us. He's not dead. He's just on his honeymoon. But he was our captain for the first half or 3/4 of the season. So
That's not. I kicked him because of his rant and life advice. That's why, not the honeymoon.
oh, sorry, I didn't read the script. My bad.
A big win. Obviously, you guys getting a trophy there. Bible, do you have anything to say? Obviously, Bible has been watching you guys cast at your semifinal, seeing you the whole way through. Bible, anything that you want to ask these guys?
A bit of a lighthearted question for Rowdy. We noticed on Mirage you were taking very aggressive positions on the T side, and for the longest time, even when your teammates had an AK, you were just running like a madman up mid, a Mac 10. It was kind of incapacitating the some of the casters here. I think Rich in particular was kind of losing it, laughing, because not only were you doing it, you were gaining some crazy levels of success with it, and we were just wondering. That had to be part of the plan, right? Like you guys calculated that, right?
So I will tell you what I told exactly him. When that window smoke goes down, I am pushing mid. No stop. Just full rush.
Dude, it was awesome. It was awesome. It just I couldn't ever like that would have shit all over me every single time. It was so good, dude.
I want to obviously give a shout out to Rowdy as he's going to be glazed right now. But he in the regular season, I think he dropped like 0.99, just below 1.0. But in the playoffs, I think he averaged like a 1.15 or something. Rowdy was just absolutely dominant in the postseason. He's my candidate for postseason MVP.
Alrighty, well, you heard it from Dirt there. Obviously, we've known Dirt's had a very big impact throughout this season. Congratulations to you guys on your win. Does anyone here have anything else they want to say to anyone out there? Obviously, within reason. Any call outs, anything on your shoulder you want to get off? Here's your time. Go for it. What do you guys want to say?
You kind of cut me off when you said within reason, so I think I'll rest my case.
I just have we have no choice but to salve up.
There's
baby.
literally no other option.
Sava, baby.
Alrighty, well, with that, we have no choice but to salve up, and I will say this. It was a very close series. We had a 13-11 on Anubis, a 13-10 on Mirage, and it comes down to Dust 2 as SAV Leopards take it down 13-11, and they are your Season 16 Challenger Champions. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We really appreciate all the views. I think we even got up to like 90 people watching at one point. So what an incredible showing, and I hope you guys all enjoyed. I've been Laws. We're here with Rich Money, Bible Clinger, and Nexus on the production. Hope you guys have a nice night. Peace.
Thank you.